Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the AFR stream for Tier 3. This is round 14. We are at the Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. I am Psycho. With me tonight is Mikhail. Yeah, it's definitely different. We've got a couple of big changes on the circuit. Obviously, some of the corners rounded out. A lot more sweeping corners. Sort of rid of that. They got rid of some of the slow corners. And the camber and banking just makes it very difficult. So I expect to see a lot of handling errors tonight. Yeah, it's a little sad, isn't it? Unfortunately, most teams not being able to field enough drivers tonight for a full grid. We'll do what we can. Yeah, no, that's good. We've got everyone, one of everyone. But yeah, just on board with the drivers now, doing their first outlap, preparing for their first hot lap. Do I have a UI bug, or is Farmer Sam on mediums? Tidy overall. Nearly looped to the last corner. The brings the top line for a 6 medium. Not a bad bank for the medium, so. Absolutely true. Okay, so guys in the chat, you're saying game sound down or mic up, please. Is it better now? I move the mic a little closer to my face. Or do we still need to adjust it? How's Mikko sound right? Just let us know, that'd be good. Yes, we can see a couple of times coming in. Cool. Cheers, Z-Dog, appreciate that. So a couple of guys coming in. Z-Dog's son through clutch so far. M-Dog up there with the 23.6. Pretty close for the provisional pole between him and Lex. Z-Dog pointing out that M-Dog likes this track. M-Dog must be the only person that does. It does definitely make for better racing. Sorry, I just increased my volume a little bit, so that's a bit better. Yeah, it definitely does make for better racing overall. Just doing practice around here earlier, you can definitely follow better. It's easier to find overtaking opportunities. It should give us, hopefully, a good show tonight as we progress through qualifying and into the race. So, you can see most drivers are back in the pits. Yeah, Panda, Mikhail was talking. Could you not hear him at all? Absolutely. Just trying to fix some audio issues we've got at the moment. Let's see if that makes it any better. Hopefully it does. Can you talk again?
Curb starts for this hairpin of turn 5, infamous for that Max Verstappen dive bomb at the end of last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Not to alarm you at all, Mikhail, but we did have some audio issues and they can only hear you as of right about now.
It's fine. I'm not saying anything interesting anyway.
It's been a one-man show, but I think we got it sorted now. Oh, jeez, you guys are so needy. Too loud, too quiet, turn him up, turn him down, I can't hear him.
Pretty clean laps so far for the Aston Martin, currently sitting in 9th position, 25.6. So far slowest of those who have set representative lap times. As Farmer Sam will be coming across the line now. Joins the 123.6 club. Makes it 100th between himself and Al Polster at the moment. Cat jumps up to a 24.2. good enough for the third row on the grid.
Pretty close so far from these guys at the top end. Top three anyway. It's a good contest right up there. So, bit of a gap after that, but overall, pretty tight field. I know Werribee managed to dislodge his front wing from the rest of his car in his first lap, so hopefully he gets a run in. As Arbusion does a bit of a pirouette in Sector 3.
Just having a look at Dump into Stump as he makes his way across the line. He will stay 10th, but he does set a representative lap 25.8 as M-Dog pushes the bar higher by a few tenths. So 123.2 for our championship leader.
That is a rapid improvement. Very well done there. So I'm on board with M-Dog at the moment as he looks to finish off his lap. Not quite. Werribee, sorry, I meant Werribee. He looks to finish off his lap. Coming through Sector 3 now, onto the second last corner and on the last corner. And he will put in a 24.8. Not a bad banker at all.
Mr. King J and now Rat as well improving on their times. King J at 24.0, just 200th behind Apex, and Rat joining the top three in the 1 minute 23 club. Only just though with a .998, but it's a 123 nonetheless.
Absolutely good effort there, getting a good race. As Apex joins them as well. Fourth place just dips Rat by a couple of hundredths.
Yeah, 800th of a second between those two. Fighting for that last spot on the second row. So right now it's only Abusion that's yet to set a proper lap time. He's been struggling with that Haas. Struggling to keep it pointing the right way, but he's still at a better time, just over 6 minutes to go. So if he doesn't like this attempt that he's about to start in about a minute and a half's time, he's always able to just bring it back to the pits, put another set of tyres on, and just fully send it. He should have enough time to get around once more. But he really needs to make these last two attempts count, otherwise he's definitely starting from that 12th position.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't want to do that. He's got, like you said, he's got a bit of time. Hopefully he can get a couple of runs in. Just see him on the back straight, warming up his tyres, and get ready for his attempt. Yeah, he's had some issues with those sweeping corners, especially the next one, first one in Sector 3. He has lost it there, I think, twice now. Definitely a tricky corner because it is on camber initially, but then as you sort of reach the exit of the corner, there's a bit of a hill on the outside that just sort of tilts the camber off, and that can really upset the car if you're not very aware of it.
Well, it's going to be the Arbusion show for the next few moments. He's currently the only car out there on the track before he's joined by Farmer Sam once again, going out pretty early for another run. But it's Arbusion time. Psycho starts his next flying lap attempt. 4 minutes 50 on the clock through turn 1, really opening up the corner as we've seen lots of these drivers do. Just doesn't quite have the confidence through turn 3 though.
Yeah, very gentle on throttle. Good rotation to the heaven.
Yeah, DRS wide open now for the Haas driver. Spots that braking point just before the 100-meter board. Down to second gear. Very ginger through that chicane. Very easy to lose the rear on exit, so understandable. Just needs to get a solid lap on the board, and that might get him into this top 10. Into turn 9, now we go, the final sector. Fourth gear, just trying to keep it as tight as possible. Shortening the run, but does compromise his ability to get on the power through turns 10, 11, now 12, 13 underneath the hotel. The infamous Latifi corner, and he's lost it again.
Oh, no. not had a good run, has he?
No, just a small tap for the rear wing. So the car should be okay, and he does have time to go in, just put on a fresh set, and then go back out. But he'll have quite a lot of traffic if he chooses to do so.
He's just going. What's he doing? He could have gone and he chose not to.
Well, he still improves by 3 seconds, so it's still an improvement, I guess, but probably not the improvement that he was hoping for. And that is probably his qualifying session done and dusted. He'll be starting from the back of this grid.
I reckon he might have. His fuel light's not on yet, so I reckon he might have fueled up for another run. He's just resetting his battery.
The C5s around here do not like it one bit. They take one look at those sweeping corners, Psycho, and they were just like, yeah, I'm just going to call in sick today. But unfortunately, they can't do that. Boss isn't allowing it. So they are going to be pretty knackered after this second flying lap that Abusion is hoping to get on the board. And his confidence in the car at this stage must be basically nothing.
Yeah, it's he's got to be very timid at the moment, I think, and he's going to essentially just do the safest banker he can, so it's not going to be a very quick time. But, Sam abandons his last fast time, I think he invalidated.
I'm just not happy with it.
Yeah.
Either way.
On board with Rat as he goes into this run.
Hard on the brakes. It looks like Aiden's actually crashed into the pit median. The entry to the pit lane. So big repair job for the Alfa Romeos.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's a bit of a tight pit entry. Aware of it.
Yeah, quite a few famous instances of that happening here in AFR. It's not the first time, and it won't be the last. I assure you that, Psycho.
Yep, absolutely. Down to third on the last one. I would have expected to stay fourth.
Doesn't improve. Mercedes not able to find the time that he needs to challenge those front two rows. He will stay at best 5th fastest.
Kingsley doesn't improve either. But also doesn't improve.
Drivers are pushing too much, it seems. Looks like lights is aborted at some point on this lap, and he's about to try again.
Yeah, he's got the time.
Yep, he's just started. 25 seconds left on the clock. Drivers like Apex, though, going to be cutting it pretty close. Looks like Abusion's had another issue at the same corner as the lap prior. So that's his qualifying session done and dusted, as Apex, I think, just beats the checkered flag only by a couple of seconds, but the Red Bull is able to start his final flying lap attempt, and the checkered flag drops for both Farmer Sam and Abusion.
Yeah, I'm on board the lights at the moment as he goes through section 2. That's pretty unfortunate for Abusion. His confidence is going to be shot starting this race.
Just keep an eye on this Aston Martin. He will be the first across the line to receive the checkered flag. What can the Aston Martin do? It goes 4th fastest at 23.7. The Farmer Sam right behind him at 23.6 puts himself on that second row. King J stays 7th fastest. Aone goes into 9th as the M-Dog improves by a couple of hundred, so 123.241. Championship rival Lights can't match him. It's only a 23.3 for the Alfa Romeo. So it is the M-Dog with yet another pole position.
Fair attempt by Lights though, managed to improve quite a bit. Just not enough, as you said. Apex will be the last driver across the line twice. Pretty tight through sector 3 as it comes to the last corner. 4th gear, barely on the power, gets across the line, and does improve. I believe he makes one position.
It's P4 for the Red Bull, so he'll be on that second row of the grid,
Yeah, absolutely.
lining up alongside Farmer Sam.
Congratulations to the M-Dog. Snatched us pole away by a pretty good margin, nearly a 10th on lights. Both of them looking very, very quick, and a big gap down to Farmer Sam, and then the rest of the field will slot in behind them. Pretty close though in this qualifying session. I mean, we've only got about a second between the first 8 drivers, so that's not too bad.
Well, the thing that's good for Lights is that the M-Dog isn't so far away on this raw pace, so if he's able to keep it out of the wall and out of other drivers, he does have a solid chance to contest with who has arguably been the the most dominant driver we've seen in a fair while. To be fair.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But this track is definitely going to be a test of consistency, especially as the tires wear. Some of these corners, like turn 9, tend to get really slippery. So we'll see what these guys can do. I did turn myself up a little bit more, Jacob, so hopefully that's better.
Strategy is going to be an interesting one as well, with the reduced safety cars and not many cars on this grid. Chances of safety cars might be lower than some are initially expecting. However, I wouldn't rule them out entirely, Psycho. We saw a lot of spins through qualifying, so that's not just me that's been struggling with the lack of grip in this new layout of Riaz Marina.
Absolutely.
But 8 seconds to go.
Yeah,
I'll let you do the honors.
It's going to be a bit more carnage, I believe. Yeah, cheers. So 8 seconds to go. As you said, we are getting in. It's looking pretty grey in the sky. Wouldn't expect any rain though. As fog lights out and away we go. We've got Lights getting a really good start. It looks like bit of wheel spin, but it looks like it's moved up. All right, so far we're going to turn 1. No incidents yet. Red Bull Media getting pushed up by the Mercedes, but it looks like M-Dog manages to pull quite a good gap in the first couple of corners. King J dropping back. I think he had a bit of an issue.
Yeah, it's looking pretty clean, at least for the back half of the grid. Abusion with an amazing start, already up 4 places into 8th place. So yeah, the Haas driver making inroads. 2 drivers on the hard compound tires. It's Cat in 6th and Halney in 11th. Both opting for the hard tires instead of the mediums. Oh, King J missing his braking point, takes out the 50-meter board. Has to go off the track to avoid hitting the other cars without, or basically demote him outside of the points. But it is M-Dog who leads it away from Lights, Farmer Sam, Apex, and Wrap the top 5.
Yeah, a bit of a scrappy start there from King J. Lost some positions, did some damage to the track. Looks like Nelson is going to send it up his inside, backs out a little bit. I don't know if that's just lack of confidence in the car or lack of confidence in King J. Backing out there.
It's the first lap.
Oh,
it's a very slippery track, as case in point. He's able to keep it pointing the right way and recovering really quickly, so he's not going to lose a huge amount of time. It's going to be important for these hard compound tires, but aside from that, it's been a pretty clean first lap.
Yeah, not a lot in it yet, just John Inouye really, and then King J obviously being a terrorist, destroying half the track, but apart from that, looking pretty good so far. We can see sort of that qualifying gap has followed us through into the race, with Lights already pulling out a second gap between himself and Farmer Sam while hunting down M-Dog.
Just having a look at the battery percentages of our front two. They are both using a fair bit at the early stage of this race, really wanting to pull away from the rest of the field, and Lights desperately wanting to stay within DRS range as Cat looks up the inside into turn 8, but just... Oh, not turn 8, sorry, turn 6. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, we're a boy just getting past Cat at the start of this lap. Those medium tyres obviously lighting up way better than the hards in the early phases, so it'll be a while before the race will come to Cat and John Inouye. They just need to hold out the best they can, those hard compound tyres.
Rat getting very close to the back of this Red Bulls, and there's another yellow flag. It's Halney having a spin at the exit of turn 9. This time it takes a little bit longer to recover. dropping back 6.5 seconds from dumping the stump ahead. And there's another spin. That's Abusion. After the amazing start he's had, he's spun at turn 15 into the infield, trying to get that car back under control, but there isn't a whole lot of grip on that grass, and he's actually going to fall all the way back to where he started and has a lot of work to do if he wants to regain some points in this championship.
Yeah, just on board with Rat as he tries to go on the outside of Apex. Apex not really leaving the room for braking in front. We'll get another run in with DRS enabled now as for on lap 3. Let's see what he can do. Apex also has DRS, but it looks like Rat got a much better exit with the slipstream. It's going to be 2 wide. Is it going to be 3 wide into turn, I don't know, is that turn 5?
Into turn 6 they go.
6, damn it. Still all maintaining position, nothing in it yet, but they are burning, as I said before, burning quite a bit of battery trying to get themselves despite.
I'm surprised that neither of them decided to go for a move. Maybe too afraid of the power of the DRS going into turn 9, but very surprising indeed to not see like either of them at least try something. It's a bit further back with like King J's trying to make a few inroads onto Striker now, recovering from what was a dreadful start to his race.
Yeah, he's definitely recovering well so far. Looks like Jacob pointing out in the chat that the last time he was the race here, Lights won the race. He definitely does have a bit of pace here, but at the moment M-Dog is gapping him, and he does have that 1 second, so he has broken the DRS, which is going to be very fortunate for M-Dog.
I mean, that's step 1 complete. Now step 2 is to just set into a rhythm and just keep building upon that gap as Howney having another spin, this time the exit at turn 1.
It's been a bit of a shocker for Howney and Abusion. They're both really struggling out there. Sort of expected from Abusion considering the qualifying he had. Just no confidence in that car at all.
At first, into the pit lane as well, probably for a change of front wing as well. Meanwhile, this fight for the final podium place. Apex looking up the inside into turn 9 on Farmer Sammy, gets the squeeze, gets shown the curb, and that might actually allow Rat to swing around the outside. They're now side by side going through turns 10, 11. Oh, but the Mercedes has to back out to avoid a crash. And that was, well, at least we got some action now on lap 4 of this race.
That was actually a pretty good battle between those guys. Mercedes absolutely making the right call there by backing out. There's no way you're going to get 2 cars through. But this has actually allowed Uruguay to also enter the fray here as last.
Also, Tim Pat as well is in this train now as well, 6/10 behind, and he's on the hard compound tires, remember. So if he's able to stay with this group on the mediums, he's going to find himself in a pretty advantageous position later on in this race.
Absolutely, it's going to be interesting watching these guys battle it out, and then as you said, Kato is definitely going to be fast towards the end, especially if we go in these safety cars and his strategy runs his course. And Z-Dog in chat pointing out that M-Dog is in a bit of trouble as Lights that did regain DRS momentarily, but he's sort of just on that border now. Like, he's just got it. He keeps losing it.
Okay, attempt 2 for the Red Bull. He's going to try the outside this time. Use the camber of the corner to try and get the power down a bit earlier, and he's actually going to go all the way around the outside. Or is he Psycho as he's trying to squeeze the Alpine out? Oh, they're side by side going into turn 11. But bit of argy-bargy, but the Red Bull is through for the time being, and now Farmer Sam under a lot of pressure from this Mercedes behind, who has a lot of battery built up in reserve, and this should be a fairly simple move for the Mercedes in a few moments' time.
See if he can get the job done. Yeah, excellent driving there by Apex. Very well defended. So, Mac being in the fight now, we'll see what he can do. Back straight, which is the next realistic overtaking opportunity. Does burn a bit of battery just to stick with him. It's all about the exit here.
see quite a few drivers miss the conventional apex at turn 5, just to try and open up the steering a bit more and just get on that throttle pedal a little bit earlier than we might be expecting. But look, Farmer Sam down the inside of turn 6. Apex holding it around the outside, trying to do a cutback is the Alpine, that has a better run on the grippier side of the circuit. But who has the legs? The DRS is with the Alpine. And look at the Mercedes as well now. Rat up the inside of the Red Bull into turn 9. And he's going to slot himself right between these two competitors. It's now 2 places lost for the Red Bull, 1 place up for the Alpine, 1 place up for the Mercedes.
Apex got absolutely mugged there. I don't think there was much you could do. The Alpine put him so far offline, but Mercedes was just so much quicker out of the corner. Brilliant, brilliant racing. Abujan, I believe, hit and he spun coming out of the pit lane. So he is having a bit of a shocker.
Just keeping tabs on these two at the front as well. Lights has well and truly gotten into that DRS window, but at what cost, Psycho? He's only running at about 25% battery, whereas his rival ahead of him is sitting around 40.
Yeah, he's burned quite a bit trying to do that, and it's potentially going to hurt him when he tries to go for his overtake, but his goal is just to keep with him, and he's doing exactly what he's doing right now. As Cato is looking like making a move on Wirraboy down the back straight, I think he's going to get that done relatively easily, and Rat gets past Farmer Sam as well into P3.
So now the Aston Martin has a bit of work to do, 1.4 seconds to catch up to these few ahead. Oh, you can see just the power of the DRS drag reduction system. Farmer Sam wants to go around the outside, but that might leave him caught out to dry as Apex trying to stay with him on the left-hand side. Battle's going all over this midfield now as Kingo's getting on the action. Looks like Cato's actually spun at turn 9, but as the Alpine and Rebel going side by side underneath the hotel, both keeping it out of the walls. There might be a few track limit warnings being handed out here, but this is just helping the Mercedes, and they've come together. They have
rejoin! Oh, what rejoin? Oh, Apex.
Good reactions there from the AlphaTauri of King J to keep that car in one piece. Striker's going to get through, as well as Apex trying to get back into the pit lane to replace that, well, not replace the front wing, just replace those tyres that have been absolutely scorched to a crisp.
I believe that's going to be a massive penalty for Apex. So not just did he do that dangerous rejoin, he also cut the track and entered the pit lane late. So he's potentially breached multiple rules there, and I think that's really going to hurt him over the next week.
Looks like Farmer Sam there has gotten out of the incident unscathed, at least in terms of damage. But he's got a few positions to make up now. This battle for 5th place between King J Striker and Farmer Sam now. All these riders running extremely low on ERS. But that DRS is proving very useful. If not to overtake, but just stay with your competitors down those 2 long straights.
It's definitely a valuable tool in the arsenal, and you wouldn't really want to race without it around here. Makes up an immense amount of time, saves battery, saves fuel. It's a very useful tool, as you can see King J and Striker just sort of maintaining position. Not too much in it. King J managed to claw his way back from the 11. Oh! As he has a massive snap of oversteer, nearly loses the car. Striker through.
It's all tactical for that DRS. Looks like Farmer Sam is also struggling to keep up. Dominus up having another moment near the pit entry. But yeah, Farmer Sam looks like he might be carrying... It might have actually not come out of that incident unscathed. He lost a lot of time in that final sector, and I'm noticing a hint of understeer through these long corners, so he might have chipped something on his front wing. I don't see anything visually from the offboards, but there's definitely something wrong with that Alpine, Psycho.
I believe you're correct. I don't have the data on me like I would, but yeah, he's definitely looking a little bit sluggish compared to what he was lapping when he was fighting for that last podium position. So him and Apex both came on pretty poorly after that tangle.
Only getting past, dumping us up into turns 8 and 9 as well. It's set 6 and 7, my goodness. What are numbers? I'll tell you which numbers that I can read though. It's numbers 1 and 2, Psycho, and Lights has actually done an incredible job of not only staying with the M-Dog, but using that DRS to save up a bit of that battery. They're now both basically equal on ERS, and that gap has just been staying around that 6/10 mark. So even though Lights hasn't really made his move yet, he's actually sitting in a lot better of a position than he was a few laps ago, and we might actually see potentially an undercut coming out from the Alfa Romeo as the pit stop window is fast approaching.
Yeah, it's a good shout out by you there. Lights is so far driving a very short drive. He's keeping his head. He hasn't done anything silly yet, and yeah, we'll see what happens when it comes to the strategy. I fully expect them to be coming in with the next 2 to 4 laps, and we'll see what these guys can do. Still no safety cars, so far the strategy seems to be working. Everyone will be relatively happy with that, apart from Abushin. John Hanoi has done a phenomenal job so far to climb back into a decent position, considering the start to the race he had. It's King J overtook Striker again. The Striker nearly rammed the back of the AlphaTauri, but manages to pull it up just in time. As Farmer Sam now joins that fray for the battle for 5th.
Fortunately, Abusion falling a lap down now. He's been lapped by the top 3 at the moment. Top 4, I should say. Now he's pulling over to let King J go as we have Striker and Farmer Sam both in the pits initiating the undercut.
Yeah, so both of them pulling the trigger a little bit earlier than King J was expecting, so we'll have to watch what King J does here. He should be pushing as hard as he can to try and make sure this undercut doesn't work, and obviously those guys will do the same, but in the opposite direction.
It's cold hards though coming out of the pit lane. They have to be careful. There's very little grip in that pit lane at the best of times, and there's actually a yellow flag now as well. That's Haonia once again having a little bit of a spin at turn 1. It's so easy if you get up on that apex curve at turn 1. It's like the car just pendulums around, and it doesn't help with the fuel load that these guys are running either. Very, very easy to do, but still, you know, at least it's not as bad as Arbusion, right?
Absolutely, Arbusion's having a bit of a mare of a time out there.
The 2 undercutting drivers, sorry to cut you off, Psycho. The 2 undercutting drivers are actually making sure that this undercut doesn't work because they're fighting into turn 6 and 7. Striker and Farmer Sam having a little bit of a tussle now.
Oh no, that's not what you want to do, guys. Especially if you're going for an undercut, you've got to be working together. Farmer Sam used absolutely all of his batteries, got nothing left in the tank. Same for Striker, really. So we'll see if King J responds here. King J does respond, and he.
Got a 3-second time penalty as well.
Yeah.
Not respecting the white lines, I think.
Yeah. So. Another one going for the undercut. We see Lights in the pits as well, so he's going to be trying to do the same.
Oh, he's going to have traffic though. It's going to be close between him and Kato. He needs to get out in front of this Aston Martin if he wants to have any shot of winning this race. It's going to be so close on the pit exit, but Lights just about gets through.
Nice.
Has a front row seat to Abusion, losing it at turn 4 as well. But that is great timing for the Alfa Romeo, or perhaps a little bit lucky. Who knows? But either way, it's the same result. Lights has clean air now to try and use this battery, use the tire advantage once he gets those hards up to temperature to really try and gap this Williams out in front.
King J pulls out just ahead of Apex, but 3 seconds behind Striker and Farmer Sam, so even with them battling the way they were battling, that undercut did absolute wonders. They're well and truly gone. Not quite sure what happened there. I mean, King J must have made a mistake or something. That's a massive gap now.
Might have had a little bit of a moment trying to come into the pits. Oh, and Striker just goes, yeah, I'm going to turn right now and straight into the barrier. And unfortunately, if you lose your focus around this Marina circuit, that is exactly what can happen to you.
Yeah, very slippery, especially at the exit of that corner. So that's going to cost Striker quite a bit. He's probably going to have to pit again. I believe I saw him whack his
Alright, here we
wing
go.
fairly hard.
Lat and M-Dog both in the pit lane. Lights is now starting lap 13, a purple final sector for the Alfa Romeo. M-Dog coming through the tunnel now. Lights going through turn 1. I think the Alfa Romeo might have done it here. And he has.
Wow.
Clean away. And actually, Cano might be close with the Williams on exit as well. It's almost side by side coming out of the pit lane. 10 minutes between the Aston Martin and the Williams. Does he go for a move? No, he decides to hang back, but he has the warm tyres. Will have the DRS assistance as well. Does he make a quick move on the end dog? Or does he just say, you know what, I'll just let him go. I'm not racing him. I'm on my own strategy.
I think he's just going to let him go. M-Dog is well and truly faster at this point, especially with that tyre advantage. 12 laps makes a massive difference even on the hard tyres. So M-Dog should be well and truly gone. And he is, but M-Dog is a mountain to climb now. The undercut proving exceptionally powerful around here. That's shocking. I didn't think it was that strong.
It was a good outlap from Lights. Build up that 2 seconds. But what is that going to mean at the end of the race? Because these hards do have a cliff, and they will be reaching at the end of the race as we have a little fight between the two Honda-powered cars. Apex and King J still having a little bit of a tussle. King J getting really close to the back of that Oracle rear wing. But still has it in his sights, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Now, I know we're in Abu Dhabi, which is basically a desert, and the rainfall here is laughable at best, but that sky is getting very dark.
I mean, we have also seen Striker opt for the soft compound tyres, so it might be an indication of something. Well, it's definitely an indication of something. Just what that something is remains to be seen.
Well, he is in a Ferrari, so he either listens to the Ferrari strategist or he knows something we don't know.
Well, he thinks he knows something that we don't know.
True, true.
Another yellow flag is Kanu once again, this time at turns 2 and 3. So we're almost, playing the corner bingo. So we've seen 1, we've seen 9, seen I think 12 as well, seen 2 and 3, seen 7. That's a fair few.
We are fairly close to getting the full bingo. And if it does start raining in the next few laps, I dare say we might actually fill out the car.
I'll have to wait and see, especially since these gaps have decided to balloon out a fair bit. M-Dog finding 3/10 on Lights over the previous couple of laps. So that gap is slowly disintegrating, but still outside that crucial 1 second for our championship. Well, our 2 championship rivals actually at this stage.
Yeah, I honestly expected M-Dog to make up a bit more of that gap with the time he's had, considering he is faster and Lights did have to burn quite a bit of juice and stoked in the DRS to maintain that gap, so maybe Lights just is having a bit of time on his tyres and maybe his setup is more suited to the hard tyres, but whatever the reason, he's holding his own at the moment.
Lights showing that he does mean business. He's not going to roll over. And just to let the dog take it from him. Striker fastest lap on those fresh softs. Down in 11th place, so no bonus point for the Scuderia. But unfortunately, the only action we actually have is between these 2 Red Bull owned cars. Everyone else is at least 1.5 seconds away from each other.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but they are giving us a bit of a show. King J's not letting Apex get far away from him. Maintaining that gap, he's got good
Oh,
DRS
we have a
as well.
spin. It's the farmer dog. He's done a Latifi. He's kept the car going though. That's a good sign.
It's very better than Latifi.
Yep. So is that another corner for our bingo? That's 14.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Hey, Jacob, can you check on that stat that Panda just announced? That'd be pretty impressive if that was true. If that was correct.
Now that Farmer Sam has now joined in the fun, it's a three-way fight for now 6th place. And Apex sees the opportunity, and he's taking it with an iron fist. Like, look at the speed of the Red Bull.
Absolutely soaring.
Oh, we've seen Farmer Sam already get into a tangle.
Quite a bit of contact there, not the cleanest move.
DRS now for the Alpine, but no battery to speak of. He looks up the inside, a massive dive from the Alpine, and the Red Bull just has to concede.
Yeah, that was a decent move. Gives King a chance to sort of catch up though, so we'll see if he can move it. Sam and Apex already coming together once before the race, as you said, and that ended in tears. So we'll see if they manage it again, as Striker has a spin on those soft tyres. I dare say they're probably close to dying.
Yeah, 3 laps, the spin. Yeah, they're gone. They're done. That's just how the C5s are around here. But it looks like Farmer Sam has actually found his footing now. Just trying to break that DRS. Apex using a bit of his reserve to get back within that 1 second and get that DRS for this the first of 2 back straights. King J just with his popcorn out, trying to wait for an opportunity to arise. We are now over halfway through this race, Psycho, and things are about to heat up actually a little bit more at the front. Those 2 numbers I can read, it's 1 and 2. 1.1, 1.2 between them now.
Yeah, it's definitely, the gap is closing, which is what I expected. Oh, Abusion in the wall again. I was on board for that one. Oh, as he mounts every curb.
Floor is gone.
He is having an absolute awful time out there today. Those tyres must be ruined. His floor must be ruined. I don't think there's too much left of that car. I imagine he has more damage than just wing damage after everything he's gone through.
And now being lapped by the whole field. As Kato has made his mandatory pit stop for those fresh medium tyres, and he's going to emerge a few seconds behind this fight for now. 5th place.
Kato should have a significant advantage on the guys ahead, especially if they start squabbling. He'll be able to catch them, and then he should be faster than all of them, really. I'd imagine he'd have a decent chance of getting 5th. Doesn't make any mistakes.
Time will tell, Psycho. Time will tell. And it looks like second Alfa Romeo is getting really close to this McLaren, who's actually just made a big boo-boo into turn 5. That's going to open the door wide right up for the Alfa Romeo. No DRS because he was just over 1 second away in the detection point, but the slipstream is still proving useful.
Yeah, it's definitely going to give Dump a chance to get another position, which he'll be sorely wanting after that.
Come on.
As we say that.
Yep, just got a bit too eager on the overtake mode, and that's unfortunately still only 1 point for the Alfa Romeo.
I had such a cool camera angle on that because the camera panned away just before he spun. So it was sitting around the corner, and you could just see John Henry come around the corner, and just nothing else.
Oh, where's the Alfa Romeo? Fusion now getting double lapped by Worry Boy this time.
That sky is getting very dark. did expect some rain, which was very surprising.
Yeah, it might be on its way. But until we see the first few drops, I'm just, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be coming, but we'll see what happens.
Well, Striker definitely put his Ferrari hat on. He made that strategy cool.
I mean, I'm surprised he's gone 6 laps on those soft tires.
So he would be aching right now.
Yeah, they wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Very poor working conditions for those soft tires, I must say.
Cato is making up ground at a rate of knots at the moment on the track medium to get the old parts in front of him, so we should be joining this fight very soon. Kiwi needs to get a move on, or else he will be overtaken.
Well, all 3 of these guys need to get a move on, otherwise they'll all be overtaken. There's still 10 laps to go, so plenty of time for the Aston Martin to extract all the pace out of these medium compound tires, as he sets the fastest final sector that we've seen so far this race.
And Z-Dog pointing out in chat that M-Dog is now hovering around that DRS window, so he's definitely made up that gap to lights. It's taking too long to do that either. He's got another 10 or 9 laps to go, so we'll see what he can do. Both of them are on 8% ERS, so they've both absolutely emptied out their batteries to try and push that gap in their favour, but it hasn't worked out yet, as Cato makes up a ton of time at the braking there, and he's now right on the back of his battle pack.
Yep, looking around the outside of King J into turn 9, and with the grip on the mediums, he's actually going to make it stick. So, lovely overtake for the Aston Martin, up into 7th place now. King J down into 8th.
He's going to have to try and stick with Cato as best he can, hopefully pick up some scraps here. There'll be some fireworks ahead of him, but let's see how he goes. Cato on an absolute charge at the moment, as the fusion gets out of the way of the battle pack.
First lap that M-Dog has DRS on lights, but it's only giving him an extra 5 kph down the straight, so not being as effective as the Williams probably is hoping for, but maybe 5 kph is all you need.
Can be, depending on who your exit is, and speaking of exits, Cato gets a pretty decent one. He's definitely going to just overtake on the Red Bull. I thought he was. He's dropping back quite a bit, even with the DRS enabled.
Needs to get a bit creative, I think, to get past these two, because they've shown that they have very low drag, very low wing setups. The Red Bull just gone.
And that Red Bull is just an absolute monster in a straight line. Cato's got no hope of catching DRS, ERS, doesn't matter, he just can't get close to it.
Oh, he can definitely get close, Psycho. He can definitely get close. Like I said, he has to be creative. Maybe do it in an unorthodox position, which used to be this corner that they're going through now, but unfortunately you can't exactly make an overtake through turn 11 anymore.
Yeah, that was a rapid game through that fast left-hander, so I do take it that there's a bit of a... Oh, Red Bull has a bit of a slip on the exit. That's going to cut out the opportunity he needs. He will get past Apex, going to turn 1.
I can use that downforce, an extra grip from the tyres to just pull away from this Red Bull.
Just swapping over to the other side, M-Dog is pretty close to the back of the lights as they go into the third sector. Not quite enough to get the move done, but he's definitely lining lights up to take a hit next lap.
Looks like McLaren are sponsoring the popcorn as well for this event. Might be a lap down, but he's got front row seats that are becoming back row seats, it seems, very quickly. But regardless, it's these two that we want to watch.
Hey Sarah, thanks for joining us, man. Yeah, so Oh, lights runs a little bit wide there. That's going to cost him on the exit.
Great move there from Cato as well to get dislodged Farmer Sam through turn 11 and 12. Gets himself up into 5th place.
Good job. I missed that. I was watching the battle for the lead, but well done, Cato. He's done very well so far.
Lap 23 to 29, Psycho. And everyone else who is joining us in the wonderful Twitch chat. Who comes out on top here?
I honestly don't know. These guys are pretty evenly matched. I think M-Dog has a little bit more pace than Lance though, and he's going to show it now as he goes around the outside.
We have the legs. Around the outside, Lights tries to defend, later on the brakes, hugs that inside line. It looks like Carney has been upgraded to front row seats once again, but through all the squabbling, they are so close, but M-Dog just can't find a way past this Alfa Romeo rear wing at the moment.
I've got to say, of all the cameras on track, Ione has got probably the best view of this battle.
He's got a free upgrade in that battery as well. Go from front row to court side.
And that is an expensive camera we got on track, I bet.
Well, it's easily spotted, you know, bright orange.
True. Just back a second, it looked like he was going to make a move on FX, couldn't quite get it done though, so just going to try and flick back and forth between these two fights as the Honda powered engines duke it out.
M2 lap 24 this time for the Williams. Neither of them is saving any kind of resources for what will be a last lap shoot. It looks like County wants, he doesn't just want to get, you know, court side, he wants to get in on the action, he wants to enter the ring. Get a little look on M-Dog into turn 6. Yeah, Williams probably didn't appreciate that one too much.
Oh, gotta be careful there. It looks like M-Dog's going to make a move around the outside. Can he get it done? No, what about the switchback? Maybe. Lights positions the car beautifully to shut that off completely. Well done. Good defending by Lights.
There's Abusion now falling 3 laps down.
Tight battle for the lead here.
Yeah, it's really starting to heat up now. Up and stop having another spin at turn 9, Abusion at turn 15. What corners haven't we seen a spin at yet?
Turn 1?
We've seen 1, we've seen 2 and 3. I mean, 4 I guess counts in that as well. We haven't seen 5 yet, I don't think. This one, the leader's coming through now. I think this is the only braking zone that hasn't produced a spin yet.
Oh, last corner?
I think we saw a last corner one. I don't know. There's only a couple left. Oh, there's one. There's last corner.
There you go. I believe we have bingo, Miguel.
I think we have more than bingo. We're about to fill out the whole card at this rate. It looks like M-Dog, well, so he has to be careful. Oh, the clearance was non-existent between those two, but he's got the inside line this time. White has to do his defense from the outside this time. Does he have the grip left in those hard tires to hold it around the outside? Maybe. He's got the inside now for turn 11. And he holds it once more. Outside or inside, inside or outside. The M-Dog just can't find a way through at this point.
What a battle. These guys are absolutely holding nothing back. And as you said, they're pushing so hard that they've got no resources left to sort of make a bit of a push.
They're pushing so hard that Howney wants to get in on the action. Like, no disrespect to the McLaren driver, but these two up front are fighting for the championship for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit... He's not anything untoward yet, but he does have to be careful, and he should not be trying to overtake them. But he's giving us a fantastic camera angle, so I'm not...
Right to the moment!
Oh.
I think M-Dog has to get him earlier into turn 6 if he wants to have any shot at it, or at least...
Ionix goes for a full send around the outside!
Oh, the lap car! The inside, what is he doing?
God, I hope he didn't damage anyone then. That was a bit silly of him.
Like I said, he wants to enter the octagon.
He definitely entered the octagon and then threw himself back out again, it looks like. That was kind of silly. I hope he didn't cause anyone any damage.
I'm just trying to think, where does M-Dog make the pass now? Because he can't make the pass into turn 9. Like, we've figured that much out.
He's definitely looking a little bit shaky. Not as good as what he was at the start of the race. Lights is doing a fantastic job maintaining his head and putting his car in a really good defensive position around pretty much every corner. And due to, I think, Lights' setup, it just M-Dog just doesn't have the straight line to catch him.
And he was only gaining 5 kph due to the straights.
Looks
M-Dog.
like Apex is making a move on Farm Sam as they're side by side through the second sector. He's going around the outside. Can he get it done? Not quite.
No, not quite. The age on those tyres is just a bit too much.
Back on board with M-Dog as another attempt. Might do it here. He'll save it back straight. I believe M-Dog gets a better line through there. He should get a better exit. Let's see if he can get it done now. Surely he can get the move done. Around the outside.
Light chose on the outside again. I think he's a bit further alongside this time than he was when he last tried around the outside. But Lights just has the grip. Oh, does he have the legs though? No, he doesn't. I think this might be it, Psycho. M-Dog has the inside now. Lights has to back out. Oh, but he takes the curb, trying to hold it around the outside. And that's it. That's curtains. The Safina rear wing is now firmly in Lights' sights. M-Dog is now through. Oh, and Lights has almost thrown it away.
Yeah.
I think he has actually thrown it away with that.
I think so. Fantastic move by M-Dog. Absolute balls of steel hanging around the inside, forcing Lights to use all the track and then pushing
Yeah, those
to
hard
the
to done.
absolute limit.
He's found them out. He's fought too hard through these long corners that, through turn 5, through turn 9. And he's asked too much of the hards now. He's broken DRS. That's it.
I didn't want to say anything before in case I jinxed it. Might still be a little bit early, but if M-Dog does bring this home, he will tie the AFR record for the most consecutive wins at 9 weeks in a row.
Quite a record to have.
Shows a lot of consistency.
Not just consistency, but speed as well. Speaking of, looks like Kanu wants to get past us out over there as well. Up the inside goes for McLaren. He might be a lap down, but it's racing's racing. Lights around the outside of turn 9, these two. I mean, just make it interesting for us, Psycho. That's all he's doing.
It's definitely interesting as to how illegal it is. That's a different story, but it's definitely interesting.
Bit further back now. Cato still finding some life on his medium tyres with a lap and a half to go. 5th is well and truly secure for the Aston Martin, but he could be on for 4th at this rate. Whoa, boy, firmly in his sights now.
He's made a hell of a dash on this last stint. Using his mediums to full effect. We'll see. He has got the tyre advantage, so he might be able to pull off the 4th place finish, which would be very impressive.
One final lap. M-Dog 1.6 seconds out in front. Basically has a whole pit stop to Rat, who has recently just started this final lap as well. It all lies on the Aston Martin for the moment. It is very close, but don't forget about that fight behind these two. The 6th place between Farmer Sam, Apex, and King J. That's getting pretty spicy as well.
Yeah, we'll see if Kato can get things done here. This will probably be his last realistic opportunity here or down the back straight. He's not really burning DRS. I think he's saving it for that last dash on the back straight.
Needs a good exit though. Has he got enough life left in those medium tyres? A little bit deep from the Alpine. Oh, he's so close. This has got to be it.
Absolutely is. And
the outside, the Aston Martin, as M-Dog ties the AFR win streak record. 9 of 9. Lights will pick up second. Oh! He thought about it. He thought about it, Psycho, but to no avail.
Couldn't quite get it done. Yeah, so as you said,
Yep.
M-Dog crosses the line, he'll win the race, and tie Revo for the most consecutive race wins in AFR history at 9.
A chance to break it at Barcelona next week, I believe. I think it's Barcelona. Could be wrong. Neither Apex or King J could make the moves or stick on Farmer Sam either, so it will be Farmer Sam in 6th, Apex 7th, King J in 8th, and we just wait for Dolphins Up and Arbusion to finish the current laps that they're on, even though they're 1 and 3 laps down respectively.
Wow, that was an exciting race. Congratulations to M-Dog. Him, Lights, and Rat will tie up our podium. We're going 4th, Cato in 5th, Farmer Sam in 6th, Apex in 7th, King J in 9th. John Hanway, pretty impressive comeback from him to end up in 9th place, and then Striker rounds up the top 10 for us here in Tier 3.
Now, shout out to Abusion as well. I mean, he didn't pit and quit. He knows what's against the rules. He stuck it out, even though he was 3 laps down. He deserved a shout out after what was a pretty nightmarish race for the Haas.
Absolutely. Good sport. Really good sport. Wow. Good race. Good race. That really went down to the wire between those two at the front. As always, they gave us a great show. Can't wait to see them duke it out again next week. Let's see. Did we get a podium celebration, or is the game gonna do its thing?
Us lap also still belongs to Striker, 126.627. So the Ferrari will actually get a bonus point, doubling his points tally from 1 to 2.
Oh, Ferrari's not completely in the mud there. There we go.
Yeah.
There's, of course, it's the greedy. What else would it be?
You know, a podium celebration that's available in the game. I don't know if you've heard of this.
Must be. Excellent job by Uncle. Alright, that'll be Tier 3. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back with Tier 1. Mikhail will be racing in that one, and I believe I'll have Jacob joining me in the commentary booth. So, don't go anywhere, we'll see you guys again very soon. This has been Psycho and Mikhail.
Bye-bye.
Good evening and welcome everyone to the AFR Round 14 stream in Season 9. We're at the Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. I'm Psycho and with me tonight is Jacob.
G'day, good to be back in the comms box, you know? It's been too long.
It has been a hot minute since you've been in here, so we just witnessed Tier 3 go through and we're tuning into Tier 1. So main difference being Tier 1 will do qualifying similar to Tier 3, but then we do have a sprint race before the actual race. So we'll get to see these guys do quite a few laps over the next hour or so.
Good fun. It's waiting for them to get all their setups loaded, everything else. I've got 16 drivers currently, but a couple of late joiners. Combined YouTuber will be late. Same for Ekim. I believe he's having a controller issue, so he said he's going to join in quali as well. And I'm not sure where Big Al is, but that should leave us with 19 drivers, hopefully, later on in the session, as our first car heads out.
Yeah, we'll have a few guys in there, which will be awesome to see. So, who do we have first on track? Looks like it's a Haas. It's the Haas of Vlad. So, Vlad being our latest Tier 1 full-time driver. Joined last week after reserving a couple of times. Showed some exceptional pace, so he was also keen to take up the Tier 1 role.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he goes. And this is the first time Tier 1's been back at Abu Dhabi since Season 7 or something, so it'd be cool to see these guys thunder around once more. New layout technically. Hang on! Already?
Good job, Jack Humphreys.
This is AI just going to do a bit of back and forth, and that's Jack Humphreys done for this quali.
Yeah, okay. He must have briefly stopped on track for some reason. Oh!
No, he's lost his wing. Yeah,
yeah, he must have had a slip out of the pit lane, lost his wing. Yeah, okay. Alright, so not...
Wow. I don't think we've seen somebody crash under there before. I'm not sure.
There you go, it's a good stat. First driver to bid it under the bridge.
Wow. Anyway, first couple of flying laps about to start for some of these drivers.
Yeah, on board with Vlad. I think he's going to be our first driver out on track, as he might have a bit of traffic to contend with looking at the state of that pit lane.
Yeah, a little bit of traffic, but they'll move aside. I hope so, as he comes up to turn 1 now. Easy to lose the car in a few points around here. Doesn't want to hit the inside of that curb too much or run too wide. He's done pretty well there. These next couple of turns, very easy to lose the car. There's still a fair bit in Tier 3. He's done a pretty good job of that, and we just saw AFR get out of the way there. Braking at the 50-metre board here to go into this hairpin. Not pretty easy there. He's doing pretty well so far. This is a decent lap. This will most likely just be a banker lap. He comes down this first DRS straight now.
Looking good so far, pretty clean into the second sector. Brakes, turns, keeps it in 4th gear to try and keep that minimum speed up as it looks to sector 2. Very exciting so far. DRS open, as always, down the back straight, hard to the left side of the track. Let's track distance as it swoops out. So this swooping left-hander, brand new corner, on-hander and then off-hander, very quick, easy to lose traction as it goes into the 3rd sector. Hopefully there's not any traffic into the tricky braking zone. Through the right hander, through the left, under the hotel section, into the Latifi's corner, as he goes up to the penalty corner, up the lap, keeps it pretty tidy there, flat out, absolutely rapid. Yeah, as he crosses the line with the 23.3 banker, pretty rapid banker lap.
That's a good banker. That's what we should be seeing from these guys. Sneaky also doing a 23.8. 22s are probably what we're going to see from the Tier 1 boys tonight. I'm not too sure who's going to top the sheets, but we'll find out in roughly 14 minutes and 5 seconds.
I'm just going to up my audio again. Panda's yelling at me.
As pro. Still a few more cars rolling through. Pond and sending a 124.7. As these cars sit their first laps, which are not necessarily as important as later on, and reminding, of course, there's a sprint race after this, so that will set the order mostly for the feature race. FIBA is currently ahead in the championship by fair margin. So he's ahead of Big Al, who's second, by 101 points currently. Now this is round 14 to 22, so every point is going to start to count here. and he's far clear of anybody else on the championship standings, so he could run away even more with this race.
Yeah, that's and then obviously having the likes of Jack Humphreys disqualify himself in quali is only going to help FIBA. Who did you say? Sorry, I was only half listening. Who did you say was his closest rival at the moment?
Big Al, and he's not racing tonight, it looks like.
He is, isn't he? He's in.
Oh, he is. Oh, they're both called
late.
Trent. Come on, boys. Come on.
Oh, I've got them nicknamed.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, fair play, fair play.
I was going to say, I thought it was Big L. Did you see he wasn't racing? I'm like, hang on a minute. Oh, there's a McLaren
Okay,
on
one's
track
called
there.
BD. Okay, one's called Trent and one's called BDE Trent on my end. Okay, just context there for everybody else.
Love it.
I'm gonna have problems with that later on in the session probably as well.
That's going to be funny because they're both in a McLaren as well.
Okay, which one? Okay, is Big L 7th currently?
No, that's Trin.
Okay, thank you. Right. I've got it figured out.
I really, as soon as I answered you, I really regretted it. I should have given you the wrong answer.
Teamwork here at AFR. Anyway, a bunch of laps of rolling in. 122.9 from FIBA, setting the pace there. Potsy with a 23.5, Kebab with a 23.6, Sneaky with a 23.8 as well. Got that way earlier, obviously. Most drivers 23s or low 24s. Pretty good pace so far.
Just don't talk to Big Al. He goes really deep into that chicane in sector 2. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but probably it's going to cost him a little bit of time. So Trin has a bit of a spin coming out of turn 9. Manages to recover in time, so he shouldn't impede his teammate. As we have a upper carry that will be pulling over to the side of the track. Courteous by the third drivers.
It's common courtesy here. Turn 16 for Big Al, and an okay banker lap here. Yep, 23.7, 5th place currently for him.
Not too bad. You'd be a little disappointed with that chicane, but apart from that, it looked like a pretty tidy lap.
Yeah, I'm just hearing now that apparently the safety car is supposed to be on reduced, but it was set on standard. And asking about a remake of the lobby, they've just been told to just send it and don't cause the safety car.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Who said that? Was it Nat or Gus? Sorry, Jacob, you might cut out. Was that Nat or Gus?
Sorry, that was Gus.
Okay, perfect. Yep, no, I agree. Send it. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world as long as... Oh, Jack Humphreys. Can you explain what happened to you? Looks like you had a mechanical issue.
Don't rub it in.
That would explain why you...
Oh yes, it was a mechanical issue probably, rather than... I don't think he actually hit the pit lane wall exiting the pits. That would be embarrassing.
Yeah, just on board with Mikhail at the moment as he finishes his first flying lap. Under the bridge. Pretty tidy so far.
Yeah, he's showing pretty good pace from what I've seen so far. 23.8, 7th place for him currently. Again, first laps for everyone, so don't put too much stock into all of these laps so far. It's really what comes down in the final few minutes of the session here.
Yeah, okay, so Jack had that issue where his wheel wasn't working, but his pedals did. So he managed to, unfortunately, bin it into the wall before he got his before he got his wheel working.
Wow.
And that would have stopped him. With this game being as sensitive as it is, if you do stop in the pit lane for any length of period, the game will just straight up disqualify you.
Yep, because obviously we've got collisions on. You could very easily just block the pit lane. So that's justified in a sense, but also very hard to easily get the cars out of the way of such a narrow pit lane too. So very unfortunate, but he still has the sprint and the feature race, and he can sort of chill up for the next 10 minutes or so, which is good.
Blood solitaire. That's what DZ would do.
What have we got on laps right now?
I believe Vlad is on a lap right now, and He's looking pretty rapid. Our brand new entry into Tier 1 has got quite a bit of pace on him.
Yeah, would have been practicing, no doubt, for the Tier 1 debut. Currently on par roughly with his time, about 500ths behind his old time. Oh, I think we just had a Red Bull lose it coming out of the sweeping left-hander. Coming into sector 3. Give it up as well. Now, last couple of corners, nearly running too wide out of turn 15. But he's done pretty well this lap. No improvement, 1100ths behind his previous time.
It's a little unfortunate. Let's have a look at... Why not T-Mac? He should be starting the lap soon.
Yes, he's just about to start. Tire temperatures around here aren't really an issue, at least if you're on the softs. You just go out with them and they're already at the right temperature pretty much. In fact, they can run pretty hot sometimes, so you're going to be running pretty low tire pressures and all that, and just trying to keep them cool, really, as T-Mac starts his flying lap.
All the practice advantage coming out of turn 1. Pretty smooth through turn 2 and 3. Is he flat the whole way? Yes, he's flat.
He is. I couldn't do it flat, what the hell? Good job.
Setup issue.
Yeah, pretty much.
Third gear gets really good rotation into fourth and then the wheel spin. Excellent corner speed.
Watch how fast he goes down the straight here. He's not running as high wings as Vlad, it looks like, only getting to 326. Vlad was hitting up to 330 going to the end of that straight. So that's probably showing he's got a bit more stability than some other drivers here. But that, of course, is at a sacrifice of straight line speed, potentially. We'll see how that plays in later on.
It's going to help him through sector 1 and 2 and 3, which he's just entered now. So looking pretty rapid through that sweeping left-hander. This doesn't bother him at all.
Oh, Condon's out.
Let's say that was a crash. Looks like he had an accident out of turn 1.
I'm just seeing if I can hop onto somebody else.
That should be
It is, it's in the middle of the road. It just
Oh.
actually interrupted Kebab.
Yeah, that screwed Kebab over. That's a horrible spot to park the car.
I think Kebab just finished the lap, so that's okay, but... Wow.
Is the car gone? Yeah, it's gone.
car's
Yeah,
gone now,
Still see
yeah.
the debris. T-Mac still around wide though, just wasn't sure about it. So while all that was going on, T-Mac did set a decent lap, so 23.7 by T-Mac. So Eckham as well put in 23.1 up in second place there. Big Al also came across the line at 23.2, so they're definitely getting spicy up the top end of the grid.
Yeah, pretty tightly packed as you'd expect from the top midfield-ish sort of fourth down to eighth. There's like a couple of teams within it. Bait and one of the Mercedes has actually got the same time recorded.
Yeah, so Nick's in the chat. I'm assuming it's Mika.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as Jackson's using their account, and I've only got your account name or nickname, that's why it's displaying as Mika, but that's actually Jackson. For anyone that's not aware. So I'm board with Endocat at the moment as he's going for his first flyer. I believe he might have had an issue on his initial lap. Mika pointing out that he likes the image of himself being fast. That's fair enough. I feel the same way. So Endocat to sector 2 is looking pretty good so far. Getting a reasonable top speed out of that car. 330, as you said, same as Vlad.
Yeah, you can easily run a couple less on the wings and sort of try to get that straight line speed, and it'll help you out more in the race. But again, you're trading stability, and he's actually backed out, Ando. Not too sure why.
Strange. It looked like a good lap.
He might be backing out to try to come in to do his last run, well, when the track's fully evolved. As there's only 4 minutes left in quali.
Yeah, and I was on board with Fever. He was on a flyer, and now he's not. Invalidated after the third last corner.
Ooh. You'll have time to do another run though.
Yeah.
Ekam's done, 123.1, good for him.
He's going to be quick. Ali joined as well just now, so Ali will have one lap to get out and see what he can do. But like I said before, it's not the end of the world that these guys don't qualify well. They do have a whole sprint race they can use to make up for it. So that's going to help them try and claw back some positions.
Indeed. Combined also, I mentioned, was going to be late. He's just started his game. He might not even be able to get a lap in at this point. It's going to be very tight.
Unfortunately for Jack Humphreys, as he did get a DSQ, that means he will start behind anybody that even comes late to possession.
Wow. That's pretty rough. Again, not his fault, but the way it goes sometimes with this game, especially. Ando's actually going for his fly now, it looks like, so he's not pinning in.
Yeah, okay, Ando's making no sense to me, but he's doing his own thing.
He may have been just down. He may not have had a decent lap time and just thought, okay, I'll just regather and do another lap. Which is a bit tough. These softs wear really quickly, so I don't know if they'll still be at their peak another lap in, but they could be.
These softs are horrendous around here. They are the softest compound tyre that you'll see C5s, so they are absolutely brittle as anything. You can get 1 or 2 laps out of them, and that's it. So at a pinch during race distance, you probably can get 5, I think, out of it, whereas usually you can get 7 or 8. Ando is someone that tends to use the softs for the sprint race. I've noticed over the last couple of weeks. I don't think even he'll do that this week. Or if he will, that's going to be interesting to watch. Yeah, he's definitely going to be stretching the tyres. So, Ando will put in a 23.9, which is not a bad lap at all. And he just puts it in the wall.
Retires. He's not going to have time to do another one. He's not got the wear. Now, Ali just managed to get out on his out lap. A lot of the drivers are heading out for their last runs now. Combined is still in the pits. He's not going to have time to get his lap in, so he's going to start at the back of the grid, but in front of Jack Humphreys, like you said earlier.
Yeah, so I'm on board with Ali. He's only going to get 1 run, so I'd like to see how he goes. Currently very close to Blackman LP. He's probably going to want to back off a little bit to get a bit of a gap.
Oh, it's Fee, but that's probably why he's not worried. He's going to be slower.
Yeah, no, that's fair then. Alright, all on board with Ali. As he realised it's FIBA, and now he's tucking it as close as he can to get that slipstream.
That dirty air is gonna. It might hurt him. I don't know if he's close enough to get the dirty air. We'll see what happens. Either way. Oh! Here's a wee moment there, but he's still good.
He's lost that now for sure. Oh, he has a little bit of a lift through turn 2. That's going to
Get up issue.
be a problem. Yeah, no, FIBA's gone now. Runs wide, completely misses the apex.
Now, he was hoping to be a bit closer to Fee, but to actually get a toe down here. That's why he was so close at the start-finish line, but obviously with the mistakes he's made there, he's nowhere near. He's not going to get any benefit, but it's not any loss either, technically, so he can just keep going at least. The chicane, a little deep, but a bit of oversteer, but he's gathered it. At least he's getting a lap on board, though.
Yeah, good save there. I still dare say it won't be the slowest lap he got, so he's doing right so far, just to bring it home now.
Yes, 1 clean lap all he really needs.
Ooh, that's dodgy. That was a bit of a... Got on the power a little bit too early, had to back off again. It's going to cost him a lot of time. This is the apex there.
So, Chicken Flag is now up. First one to cross the line will be T-Mac. And I'm just going to see what time he gets. It's a 23.5. He's in 7th place now. Next across the line will be Fever. With Ali right behind him. Fever sets a 22.7. That's a really good lap. Ali, what can he do? He puts in a 26.3. That is a lap. And he does get 17th. Bait invalidated his lap. Who's next? It's an Aston Martin.
Combined, I believe, did get on that. Oh no, he's
Oh, yeah. Trin, no, he's further back. I meant Big Al, 23.1. That puts him into 3rd place. That 2nd, 3rd, and 4th really tight there. Sneaky, up into 7th, 23.4. Yep, Crush, he's getting into the pits now. Big Al now. He's currently 1 team far going into the 3rd sector. A little bit of a moment there. He still gets 23.6. He's only in 12th though. And I believe that was an Alfa Romeo. That would have been combined, not making it.
Wow, Mikal, rapid time percent move through 4. Big improvement there. That was not Mikal, that was Trin down to 213. Big Al is up to 3rd.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh. God damn it.
Yeah, no, that's alright. Yeah, okay, so FIBA asserting his dominance there by putting another big gap between himself and Ekam. At this point, it really is Fever's race to lose unless Jack Humphries can somehow get up to probably 3rd or 4th in the sprint. I don't see anybody challenging Fever for the win here.
Yeah, Fever looking super dominant. 22.79, really good lap. Ekam is nearly 4 tenths behind on 23.163, but really close behind is that Big Al?
That's Big Al.
That's Big Al, and then Vlad in 4th on the Haas. Really good performance from him on his debut. Behind him we just have Potsy Kebab, Sneaky, Mikhail, T-Mac, and Bait rounding up the top 10. And further down, we've got Tren in 13th, Pepsi 14th, Fondant 16th, combined, and Jack Humphries not setting times.
Now, it's going to be an interesting sprint. I'd like to see how well Jack is going to do to try and push through this field to try and make up that position, because he's really lost out then, and he's got a lot of work to do to try and get back up to a position where he could challenge Fever for the win. To be honest, even if he could, I don't know if he actually could, because of Fever's just pure raw pace around here. Now, in saying that, the grid is still fairly tight, even with Fever's pace. 1st to, I think, 13th was still within 1 second.
Yeah, most drivers were on a 23, and I think there were some drivers that didn't actually get as fast a lap as they really could have. But Ali obviously only had 1 shot and just sort of made a couple of mistakes and only got a 26. Pondon had to roll off his banker, I think, and obviously combined and Jack Humphries didn't set laps. So this field is really tight, but there's just not many laps to get through 20 cars or 19 cars.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it and see how these guys go. As we get our 5 red lights. And we're off. It's looking really tight so far up the front. Bit of a jostle side by side though. People will lead into 10-1 though. Someone makes a massive send at the back of the field.
That's an AlphaTauri around.
An AlphaTauri. Both AlphaTauris I think got caught up in that.
There's a Williams as well. That's combined in the mix too. Pepsi was in there.
Both AlphaTauris and an Alfa Romeo were just pinned. That was horrendous. I don't know what happened there, but that was awful.
So combined had nowhere to go. It started with one of the AlphaTauris rotating on the inside of the corner, and then everyone just being collected as a result of that. And I guess that's just what happens when you're in the back of the pack. Sometimes you just get caught up in incidents, you know? It's terrible to see. But a lot of cars are now running some form of damage.
Yeah, it's always the case with these sprint races in Tier 1. These guys just tend to not let each other any room or just forget how to drive. It's pretty average to see, to be honest. Now, while I didn't like seeing that at all, I do like seeing that Ando did completely ignore everything I said, and he's put on the softs anyway.
I saw somebody was on the softs, but I didn't see who it was. No, you're totally right. That was indeed Andocat, and he's up 3 spots as well. Jack Humphries made 5 spots in all of that mess, and Condon up 3 spots as well. Ali up 7.
I wonder if the game's busted in some form. Oh, just VSC, okay, never mind.
It is a VSC. It's showing as all 3 sectors under yellow flag for me, but I think it's a VSC.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same, but the track boards are showing VSC and green flag. All right, we're off again.
So a wee bit of a gap to 1st and 2nd, but it is Fever and Ekam.
Yeah, Ekam nearly pushing Fever around that last corner. I'd say the VSC caught Fever out a little bit, because Ekam was right on the tail of that. A lot of guys coming into pit. Wow.
Yeah, that's everyone that got damaged. Yeah, there was so much debris scattered on the track after that one.
5 drivers in the 6 drivers. 6 drivers in the pit lane, and I can guarantee you, Bait and Macau also got damaged. But
and Endo's out. Endo's spun out. Turn 1, turn 2.
I told you, they're soft tires. They're no good.
Wow. So does that cause anything? VSC, safety car, anything? It looks like it's out of the way, so that just gets cleared. We keep racing. Those guys who pitted would have loved to have seen a safety car there.
Ekam makes a move onto Fever as they're side by side now going to the 2nd sector. That was pretty
Al!
brave.
Big Al!
Big Al gets involved too. Big Al somehow gets ahead in that. I don't know what just happened, but that was brilliant by Big Al.
He was so slow through there. He just fires up the inside. Fever lost 3 spots. He just re-overtook Ekam though. They're still fighting side by side, and Fever does hold on the outside for 3rd spot. Potsy as well. Big beneficiary into 2nd now.
I don't know what happened there, but Fever showing a little bit of weakness and Ekam taking absolutely no time at all to make a move and pounce, and that's obviously caused a bit of a hold up, so everyone else might have jumped in as well. What a fight for the lead here.
That's incredible. This is a very angry pack of drivers right now. There's 7, 8, 9 cars all in a train here. And it's Big L in the lead. DRS enabled.
Man, that was interesting to watch. Now, Bate and Mikkel both have work in it as well, and they definitely picked up damage. I saw a lot of wings and little bits and pieces flying around there. They're the only cars that didn't fit, so it'll be cool to keep an eye on them, see how much time these soft runners that did fit make up, if they can make up that 20-second deficit in 7 laps or not.
True, that's combined spinning just outside the last turn, losing a fair bit of wing. Yeah, Mikkel was missing an end plate currently. Bate doesn't appear to have massive damage, but yeah, they definitely are carrying some form of damage, and I think they just believe that pitting is not worth it with the amount of damage they have. So they might just want to be holding on to 11th and 12th here.
Aussie and Fever going side by side through turn 9, it looks like Fever kind of centered around the outside, couldn't quite pull the car up in time, so this is going to maintain that second place at the moment. As Ali DNF'd in turn 9, and it's another VSC.
That is a VSC, yeah. So he's just lost it coming out of the exit of that left-hander. Like you said, it's on camber, but there's a bit that goes slightly off, and if you find yourself on that, then it's very easy when you're on full power to just spin the car, and that's clearly what's happened.
Absolutely. Now, this VSC is proving dividends for the AlphaTauri drivers, as it's going to make the other guys not gain time on them. It's about half a lap, if not more, of racing that they lose. So it's just going to help those two maintain that gap, as a Kebab gets a drive-through for speeding under virtual safety car.
So all drivers have a delta they have to follow, and if they're not under that delta, then they'll get a drive-through once the virtual safety car ends, and Kebab finds himself on the wrong side of that. So he's going to have to serve a drive-through penalty now because of that. That's pretty unfortunate.
That's going to hurt him, poor guy.
He's letting Sneaky through just because of that. He's out of the race now, so fair enough.
I do like the team play there. Red Bull take note.
That's Pepsi. That's the other Ferrari out now.
Both Ferraris DNF.
Turn 2, turn 3-ish. Turn 2, sorry, I should say. So he's on the left-hander that he's missed it. Probably on the change of direction, yep, just on the outside of the road there.
Couldn't quite get an on board of that, but happens to the best of them. Alright, back on board with this battle at the front. It's absolutely insane how close this is. These guys are just on it. Just slightest mistake and you'll lose 3 positions up here.
Yeah, the top 4 seem to have fanned out a little bit, but they're still pretty close to each other, certainly within DRS.
Feber ran wide, really wide, as he comes back on the track. Surely that would have been a warning at least.
How did he not hit the wall?
I don't know. He just pulled it off the time, I think, but it would have been close. As he runs wide again, does he have damage? He keeps running wide.
I think they might have just... It can easily frazzle you making one mistake. It's very easy to make another coming out of it, and unless... He might have some very minor damage, but he's currently holding good pace, so I don't think he does.
Yeah, it's costing him quite a bit, though. Big Al capitalising on quite a bit, made those couple of positions up, and he is kind of stretching his legs at the moment.
Yeah, again, these guys are all stretching out a little bit now, but still very much within DRS. Vlad just staying on with this wee battle up front. He's currently in 5th place. He's obviously lost a couple of spots since the start, but he's doing pretty well so far for his debut, even though it's just the sprint race.
I think he's only really lost out to Eckham.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of movement around the top guys, as we saw earlier, but even so, he's held fit, and it's only 5 laps in, and he's still got a full race to do after this, but this is still pretty promising.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, got about 16 seconds gap between Mikhail and the first of the guys that have hit, so we'll see what happens there. Jack Humphrey's doing a fantastic job making up a ton of positions already up to 12. I think he got caught up in a bit of his as well, otherwise he'd be further up the grid as Fever sets him the fastest lap.
Yeah, 25.5 I think that was. I'm just looking to see, has he made a stop? So Jack Humphreys is the first of the drivers to have made a pit stop, so he was caught up in that. But still top spot. A few people have retired, so I'd be pretty happy if I was in his shoes.
Yes, and also I'd be looking for a little more than that though, as Fever goes down the inside of Potsy. Into turn 9. Is he going to get the move done? I think so.
Potsy can fight here. He's going to go for a switchback potentially. I don't think he's got the room to do it. No.
Does get a better line though and a much better exit. He will have DRS, but so will Fever. It's going to be a bit of a dash down the corner. I think Fever's got a lot more straight line though, looking at that. Alvin.
Well, he absolutely does. I mean, Potsy had ERS there and Fever didn't, so... I mean, Fever's definitely running a bit less hero, you have to say.
Yeah, it's looking like it's working for the Alpine driver thus far. But this is fantastic news for Big Al, because the more these guys fight, the more he gets to try and pull that lead. I actually don't think Kiba has any damage looking at his current pace. He's all over the back of Big Al. As he goes for a send into the last corner, he gets it done. What a move, but it's a bit of a slip on the exit, and Big Al's going to fight him back for it, but he will concede into turn 1. And that's going to hold up Potsy as Fever regains the lead and he starts to pull out a little bit of the gap. Fantastic driving.
That was great offense from Fever, but also great offensive defense. Late braking into turn 1 to make sure Big Al has got no room to do anything. And Potsy just losing it a little bit. Ekham's right beside him now. Ekham's going to have the run. And Potsy is pushing him over.
Yeah,
Vlad's here.
Ekham tapped him, and that's cost them both a bit of position. So Potsy tapped him back. Not really what we want to see in AFR, but
Vlad must have been on the outside. That must have been why. There was no room.
Yeah, okay, so we've got a bit of a battle between the Haas's here, as Vlad, on his debut as a full-time driver, tries to prove to everyone that he has earned that seat. Pace-wise so far, I can't disagree with him.
It looks like it's all settled down now. Potsy settling into third spot. Vlad's still holding station. Sneaky and Crush making, I think, just trading positions there as well.
I wouldn't really say settle down. Fever is whipping the exhaust field of that McLaren.
Oh, so Big Al's gotten by again in all that excitement as well.
Yeah, I don't know when that happened, but good move by Big Al. He's got double Fever's ERS, so I'd say that probably has something to do with it. Oh, Fever a little bit squirrely on the exit of the last one.
3 laps left for these guys as well. Fever needs to pick his moment and pick it well.
Fever runs deep into turn 1, that's not going to help him.
There's a small amount of points on offer here for the sprint race, and at this stage of the championship, any little bit helps everyone here.
Yeah, definitely.
So, top 5, still very much fighting. You have to go back a couple of seconds to find Crush and Sneaky in their own way battle, and Trin, just holding station in 8th there. The AlphaTauris of Bait and Mikkel, their gamble to stay out seems to have sort of worked, but Kebab, able to make a move on Mikkel for 10th place. Mikkel, I don't think he'll have DRS, I think Kebab will have it. And Jackson has spins as well out of turn 4.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Jackson. Everything's calming down a little bit now. Gaps are increasing as we wind down to the end of this race. Closest battle at the moment is Sneaky and Crush. Sneaky in the Aston Martin, really pushing the Mercedes around the last sector.
For Sneaky as well, he'll lose a couple of attempts for that. Just got crossed up coming out of that double left-hand of the hotel section. Couple of tricky off-camber corners will always catch her, and also a little bit of a moment out of the last corner too, so perhaps the wear on the medium is starting to be a bit of a problem for Sneaky potentially?
I think so. They're not looking as quick as what they were. He does seem to be having a couple of snaps of oversteer and understeer, so he's not looking very comfortable in the car right now, as he is dropping back quite a bit. Back to the front.
Right, 2 laps left, nearly 1.5. Big Al leads this race. Fever waiting in the wings, he's not far behind, same for Potsy. These guys can snap at any moment, and they might just, but no one's close enough to do anything yet. Can't rule out Ekam, can't rule out Vlad either.
No, it's a good battle so far for the lead of this race. One mistake, and you could drop 4 or 5 positions, to be honest.
Potsy got a pretty good run through the left-hander there. It's not quite close enough to Fever regardless, but...
Just... Fever runs wide.
Ooh. But you can't do much through here, this is the thing.
Aussie actually pushing Fever around the corner. Very polite.
So usually they try and find a way to get by. That shows you how impossible it is to make a move there. Last lap now for these boys.
Let's see what sort of shenanigans they got up to. I expect some very disgusting scenes. Ooh, Potsy a little bit wide into turn 1.
Vlad running very wide out of turn 1 as well. No effect though. In fact, pretty close to Ekham now. Needs a good hairpin. I don't think he gets it. No.
Oh yeah, I don't see any position changing in front of this grid. This is most likely how they're going to finish unless something drastic happens.
Fever's right. Fever's hit Big L.
Oh
no, nothing happens there. Big L gathers it.
Aussie had to really slam on the brakes and throw the anchors out to pull that car up, trying not to crash into Fever.
No harm, no foul, but geez, that's scary. And look at Ekham.
Yeah, Ekam's going to make a pass. He's going to do 2. He's going to try and make 2. One on the outside, one on the inside. Can he get this done? If he does, what a move. Not quite though. And he has a bit of a slip on the exit. Is Boss going to try and overtake into the tight section? Sector 3. He is side by side. Lay on the brakes. Both drivers leaving each other just enough room. It looks like Ekam's going to find the grip faster than Potsy though, and he will get that position. Awesome driving.
Great driving from the both of them.
Absolutely. Brilliant driving.
And they cross the line, and Big Al will take the sprint race.
Yeah, wow. That was one hell of a sprint race. So, as you said, Big Al takes the sprint race. 8 points to him. Fear will pick up 7 points. Ekam 6, and so forth until Trin in 8th place will get the last points playing position. Bit unfortunate for some of the drivers there, losing out quite a bit. Jack Humphrey's doing fantastic, going from 19th all the way up to 12th. So, not too many overtakes, I think. I'm pretty certain he got caught up in that incident as well, and that's what hindered him. So, fastest of the guys that pit. Whereas, I believe AlphaTauri had the better strategy to stay out, because they still managed to... even with the damage, managed to beat everyone that went in the pit that race.
Yeah, and I think they were fortunate to be in a spot to make that call as well. Some of them had no wing at all, and at that point you just have to pit. You've got no choice. You're going to lose too much time otherwise. But those boys sort of knew that, okay, we've got minor damage. We can probably stick it out. If it's 2 seconds a lap you're losing, then you're still going to beat somebody that has to pit. So that's what happened.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just on board with Quantum as he comes around last corner now, and then combined it will follow him.
Well, nearly. He's just spun out. He's currently the wrong way around.
Ah, lovely. Combined having a fantastic race.
Yeah, no quali. It kind of does that to you. You don't really have any time to warm up to the track as well.
Yeah. Well, that was a exceptionally entertaining sprint race. I'm very excited to see what the full race has in store, if that's what the sprint had. And it might be exciting if we have safety car on standard. We might see a couple of more safety cars as well, depending on how carelessly these guys drive.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some pretty big incidents in the sprint race, all things considered, and we didn't really get anything other than a couple of virtual safety cars, so it may come out, it might not. I mean, we can't guarantee it, is the thing.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it and see what these guys end up doing. I wonder what the weather's going to be. It should be clear. We very rarely have rain around here, but I said it in Tier 3 too. Those clouds look ominous.
I don't think it's uncommon for it to be cloudy around here. That must be the case. But rain can happen around here for sure. It looks like it's clear for the race.
Yeah, that's completely clear. There's not a cloud in the sky.
I think we have seen rain before in Abu Dhabi. I think in a quali once. I can't remember exactly. I've heard people talk about it in the past. But yeah, I would never expect it here, obviously.
I think I saw it once in a league race on YouTube.
Yeah, it's not like Bahrain where we're like actually in the desert, I suppose.
Oh, it's close enough.
It's pretty close, I will agree. But like, I think we've had rain at Jeddah before as well. So
We have had rain at Jeddah.
anyway,
Tia wet bringing the goods.
20 seconds until we get into this feature race here. Thank you all for tuning in. This should be an awesome race.
I'm expecting as much, so we got about 8 seconds to go until countdown procedure. Because of game glitches, we're still not running formation laps, so we'll just get straight into the race.
Oh, I love this game.
Alright, we have 5 lights. And we're away. It looks like we get away well. Fiba coming across to try and cover Eckham off. He does a good job, manages to maintain position. Looks like most drivers made it away pretty cleanly. No major incidents this time.
Bit of squeezing between the two Haas's, but apart from that, all pretty clean. A bit of movement. I think the Haas's are changing places. Miko and T-Mac as well.
Couple of different tyre strategies at play here. A lot of guys opting for the hard, a lot of guys opting for the medium. We'll see, that's all going to be based on safety cars. That'll determine how severe this all ends up as Pepsi at the back makes a bit of a dive. It looks like he managed to pull the move off. Nothing too severe.
These opening laps are so crucial for these guys. Want to be in DRS to someone, you want to be hanging on to people if you can. Eckham trying to make a move on Fiba here for second place here.
He might just get that done considering he's on the medium tyre. As that's a Haas around, is that Potsy? Potsy's lost it, unfortunately, I believe. Oh, and Sneaky! Sneaky does a bit of a pirouette. He recovers very, very well, though. That was an awesome spin by Sneaky. If you're going to spin, that's how you do it.
And Jackson had to thread the needle between both Potsy and Sneaky to get through all that. Pretty scary driving for him. He's in 12th currently. Fiba holding on to second as well. And Jackson with 5 seconds, interestingly.
That's unfortunate. We're not going to be able to remove that. We're just going to have to serve that when he hits.
I believe it was a yellow flag when Sneaky spun, because that part would have been a yellow flag.
Yeah. As Ando and Ali go side by side through turn 2. Ali manages to squeeze ahead. Just barely.
So just coming back to this tyre discussion, the people that are running hard seem to be pretty confident in their early race pace. It's more in the ending part of the race, like say Black 20 onwards or so, where those mediums are going to shine against worn hards. They're going to be up to a second quicker, maybe more per lap than some of these guys.
Absolutely, it could potentially be a better strategy. But in saying that, if we have a safety car at a bad time, say lap 9 or 10, that's going to benefit our medium runners immensely.
They can just swap to hards, yeah.
Swap to hards here, whereas our hard runners might be able to pit, but I don't believe they'll be able to make those mediums last. So it's a bit of a gamble no matter which way you go, really. As Ando and Pondon are fighting pretty hard. It looks like Pondon's going to pretty much push Ando off track, take that position. I believe Ando might have some damage because he should be significantly faster than that, as Pondon just drives past Ali like he's not even there.
Yeah, Ali and Ando were fighting a little bit, and Pondon's presence, I think, really threw off Ando. Ali nearly losing it on the curb out of the second last corner. Same for Pondon on the last corner, too. We're all holding on now. Ando Cat trying desperately to get past Ali here. Inside of turn 1, he's going to hit the sausage curb. He hits Ali. No harm, no foul.
Bit of contact there, but yeah, we'll back out of it. Doesn't look like they're too serious.
So the guys up front have really fanned out. Big L on those mediums was able to make quite a nice gap to Fiba, who is still on the hards, obviously. And Eckham is just looking for any way by.
Make that look up past T-Mac. Very beautifully done.
You mean Jackson?
Jackson just got past T-Mac, beautifully done. And then Potsy will follow him through. And across 2 positions. Possibly. Quite. Jack Humphries gets past Batemate as well.
Look, they're still fighting side by side. Left-hand turn here.
Yeah,
Bates on the inside.
I think Jack's squeezing him out. Yep, Jack gets that position. Very hard to maintain that on the inside. Oh, Bate. That's Bate gives him a bit of a love tap, but he'll let him correct himself and he won't overtake. Gentleman Bate there. doing what he can to correct his error. Mikhail says, thank you very much, give me a go.
So, like 4:29, these hards will start to sort of equalise at the same pace as the mediums within a few laps, and you're going to see these hard runners not fall back as much as they have been. Fever will lose a spot or two, that's fine. He'll make it all back in the later part of the race, hopefully.
I think that's, but again, it just depends on how certain cars go. Looking at the set of the back of the grid, it's a bit contrite. It seems like the Vlad,
It's early around.
even Vlad is catching up to Fever. Those hard tyres not working very well at all yet.
No, the patience isn't there on those tyres. They're not really that quick, but they will be working far better in the early. They'll be better in the early parts of the race, and then you switch to the softer content when you've got less fuel for the last part of the race. You can get way more pace out of the mediums that way.
It looks like Aussie is going to double inside of Bate mate. Very late on the brakes, absolutely sends it. Bate couldn't quite hold on, so Aussie will another one. But
Recovery continues.
yeah, Aussie recovered really well.
Jack Humphries into 9th as well on the hard tyres. That's pretty good to see.
Yeah, there's no cars that are very well. Oh, what is going on at the back of this field? Ando and Condon again.
Those two just having their own wee thing right now. Big Al is now 1.7 seconds ahead of Eckham, and that's Ali again around. That is on turn 14, I believe.
Yep.
I haven't seen anybody spin there actually.
Oh, Pepsi, what have you done? Pepsi spun its own three.
Ferrari's not having the best day, it seems.
No, Ferrari looking really unstable in this race. I wonder if it's setup related or if these guys just didn't practice.
I'll let chat guess that one actually. We had somebody go wide at the chicane here. I think that was Fever.
Oh!
He had 5 seconds for corner cutting. Yeah.
Okay. Game very, very ruthless there. Gives them closer to straight away. I didn't see how bad it was, but I imagine if you cut the corner, then it's fair.
Well, he's not lost or gained any time, so I'm not too sure, frankly. But he's going to have to circle 5 seconds anyway in the pits, so can't really do anything about that, annoyingly.
Well, that's fair though. He did make the mistake and the game penalised him for it. Potsy is dropping down. He's facing the wrong way. There's a bit of a pirouette. At that really tricky corner, that turn 9, it is such a difficult corner to get right.
So the comeback more or less unravels, and now he's down once more to 15th place. And now he's got even more work to do now, and those hards might be worn a little bit more as well.
Yeah, as I think Ali has another bit of a slip through the same corner. Manages to catch it though, so it's not too bad.
Fever's actually ranging up onto Eckham now. Looked like he was getting a bit close for the hairpin, but we hinted that he might be running a bit lower wing than other drivers here, but doesn't seem to be gaining too much on Eckham, but he is using a lot of ERS. Oh, and he's tapped him!
Oh,
but Eckham does cover it.
Good catch by Eckham. Good recovery. Jackson's like really close to the back of Bate mate. Bate mate runs a little bit deep, so Jackson should get a bit of exit here. Doesn't quite get a bit of exit, but he will have DRS down the back straight and will make
Can't do much about that. Yeah. So something to offset the penalty hanging over him currently. And that's 10th spot for now for Jackson. And as well, Pepsi, or Potsy I should say, making the move on Pepsi. That's for 14th place there. So, these medium runners are now going to start to feel a little bit of wear on their tyres. Nothing crazy, but within the next few laps they're just going to drop down more and more. Between laps 10 and 12 we will see people starting to come in for those hard tyres.
Yeah, if these guys watch the 3 at all, they'd be very much aware how powerful the undercut is. So whoever blinks first is going to get a massive advantage. The undercut is super strong.
Indeed, and it's Jack Humphries.
Oh no.
It's turn 4. And there's a AlphaTauri around as well. There may be more to this than just one person spinning.
Is there an AFR? I don't think there is.
Well, he's re-gathered it. He was off track with Jack Humphries at the time. I don't see any damage. I'm just checking Mikhail's car. Either way, that's Jack Humphries out. It's unfortunate.
Forehead, yes, there will be a 3-3 screen, so it's going to be 2-2.
So that's our first DNF. No safety car comes out. That's what we were fearing, but doesn't seem to have happened. So now 18 drivers continue here. Lap 7 to 29. Coming up to the start of lap 8 almost.
And O'Neilly sends it up inside of Pepsi. He should have just sent it way back down. Yeah, at the pace.
Easy to say up here in commentary, of course. Oh, Fever!
Oh, Fever DNF'd.
Where is that second last corner? That's a very odd place to go off. Did he catch the curb, I wonder?
He must have.
On the inside.
He's in the wall on the outside.
It's a very weird spot to come in. And it must be a safety car or something. Mikhail's pitting. There might be damage.
It's going to hurt him for a championship.
It's 25 points he can't grab, that's for sure. He got 6 in the sprint race, or 7 I should say, sorry.
Yeah, Mikhail does have damage to getting that front end replaced.
Yes, so I thought he had had an incident there with Jack Humphries. Fever going out. Now, Fever in all the starts, he retires roughly 1 in 20 races. So for him to retire there is pretty crazy.
That's a pretty good stat to have. I didn't realize it was that few.
Yeah, 5%. 5% retirement rate. It's ridiculous.
Really good actually. As Potsy absolutely does a big send on combine. And I beautifully done. Textbook overtake. And Endocat sees that and goes, I'll do the same thing. Big Pepsi.
Endocat now in 12th. A bit of movement in the grid now, of course. Here comes second. Vlad is now third. Crush is fourth. Kebab fifth. And I believe it's Finn in sixth.
I don't mean to curse him, but if Vlad keeps this up, he will get a podium and made him drive as a full-time driver.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. The gaps have spaced out a little bit. He's still in DRS to Ekim, which is pretty good. He'll mainly just want to be staying in there and sort of just hanging out, just reacting if the tyres feel bad. Maybe he'll start thinking about pitting in a couple of laps. Maybe he'll go for the pool.
Yeah, sneaky driving like an absolute menace. Good, luckily didn't spin out either, but that was horrible dive by Sneaky. That was never going to work.
That's Pondon, turn 1 as well, having a wee spinsy. He's gathered it up nicely though. He's in his own little race right now though, 14th place.
Yeah.
So Mikhail came in for damage, replacing his front wing. He's now on hards. He has to take those to the end.
Yep, that's fine. Don't make it easily.
Yeah, he'll be able to drive relatively conservatively. He can probably he'll make a couple of spots up easily. He should still be in a points position, you'd think.
Possibly, depending on what his face looks like and happens around him, but certainly I like the possibility.
Yes, these medium runners will be thinking about pitting very soon, as I was hinting at with Vlad. Thinking about what he could potentially do. The game suggests lap 12. As we've talked about, the undercut can be pretty big, so you can come in as early as this lap even, technically, although you do have more worn hards to take care of later on. Vlad having a huge moment out of turn 1, but saving it pretty nicely. Lost a few tenths though.
That was a massive moment, as you said, yeah. Yeah, if I was Big Al, honestly, I'd consider pitting next lap just to cut off the undercut. And secure that position.
Yeah, he's in a league of his own right now with Feber out of the picture. 2.7 seconds ahead. He's not got... I mean, he could probably... If he pits one lap later than he goes behind him, I don't think he'll actually lose out to them, because it's a decent gap. But you wouldn't want to risk it all the same, so interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, on the board with Echo at the moment, he is keeping Vlad at bay and holding up quite a bit. Vlad there inside him 30 sandwich.
The Mercedes still has the FTX sponsorship on it, I just noticed.
Yeah, not anymore. Sorry, buddy. That one's left you.
That ship has sailed, sadly. Yeah, all these gaps have fanned out a little bit. No real battles happening right now. I alluded to this, I was talking about this earlier, it being more of a 29-lap time trial pretty much. Because it's pretty easy to lose it around here, lose the car and spin. And we've seen a fair bit of that today from some drivers who maybe haven't put in as much practice as others. It's so important, especially around here. There's so many corners where you can just lose the car. So it really turns into a huge time trial where you still have to just race everyone as well.
Yeah. Actually, has FIBA DNF'd once this?
I can double check that actually.
Because I think this will be the first time in quite a while where Alpine hasn't scored. Both Alpine drivers have checked out of this race. As Potsy has another spin at a turn 3.
Dear.
He does recover it though. I don't know if he has any damage as he takes out with the Rolex signs on his way back to the track.
FIBA has scored points in every race he's participated in this season.
So this will be the first time that him and Alpine don't score so far this season.
Yeah, well, Alpine, Big Fat Zero, they are leading the constructors by some margin. Let me just pull it up. They have 429 points. The next constructor is Mercedes on 258, so it's a really healthy lead. 171 points, I think.
It's going to help Mercedes out a bit as well because they are running second and fourth at the moment, so they're in for a good points haul as long as they don't miss it. Ali in the back of Sneaky.
So here we go. This is the undercut you were talking about. Vlad comes in.
Excellent. We'll keep an eye on this, see what he can do. No, it's not on your mic. I've had it for ages. I just don't use it because I'm not normally the lead commentator. We'll go with that. Yeah, your ears are broken. That works too.
Oh, yellow flag. That is combined.
Combined is around, yeah. So, alright, so as we said, Vlad has got the cutters on the hards to play now, so let's see what kind of an outlap he can do. So, I believe to cover it off, Ekam has to pit this lap as Vlad actually emerges into a bit of traffic, so he's behind Andocat. That's going to hold him up unless he gets past it straight away.
Ando was on very worn hards, that's very true.
He will have DRS, so maybe this ends up helping Vlad if he can get past him quickly, but Pepsi actually on those warmer tyres is looking quite keen to make the Haas's life difficult.
He's having a look, no, he's backed out of it.
Yeah, I couldn't quite go past there as
On another spin.
Yeah.
So Vlad really on Endo this time, he's going to get him here it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely, we'll get that move done around the outside. Leaves Endo plenty of room.
I think they're struggling to pull it up. Now, yeah, Big L reacts. There we go. And Ekam has to come in too. Do we see Crush? No, they can't double stack.
Vav though does pit, so if Crush stays out, that might hurt him even more. So he's going to lose out to Vav even.
No matter what, because they have to double stack otherwise. Now watch Vlad. He was just behind Ekam when he came in. Start from the straight now for Vlad.
Oh, no, he's got him.
You're calling that from here?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he does. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Easy.
Oh, hang on. No difference. Wow.
I was wrong. I apologize.
The guys up front really have done pretty good on those one mediums in there, I've got to say. Or the hards just taking some time to warm up, I suppose.
Well, I think what hurt him was that battle that he had to endure with Endocat.
See, you can weaving a little bit there on track, just to get a little bit of temp in those hards. Any free temperature he can get there.
Oh, I can go a little bit deep. That's going to help Vlad if he can get a good exit. Not quite sure. Has a bit of oversteer. I don't think he's going to get a good exit. Couldn't get traction down, so Ackham's going to maintain position now.
Yeah, and everybody else pitted at the same time. Big Out did. Oh no, that's Trent. Trent's still out. Same for Crush. These two couldn't double stack. They were behind their teammates at the time. So they're going to lose out potentially here because they're on worn mediums for an extra lap.
Yeah, it's going to hurt them.
And this leaves Bait in lead of the race.
No, that's definitely going to hurt these guys. as they're both into sixth now. They're going to lose out quite a bit here. Crush will drop to 15, so.
Let's see where the Mercedes and the McLaren pop out in regards to this fight. And who was that? T-Mac having a wee moment, I think, last corner. Give it that.
That's pretty severe, I believe. We should red flag the race right now. As an opportunity leads it.
So Crush has lost a couple of seconds, it looks like. And Potsy with the fastest lap. He's on the softs. I totally missed that in all this pitting. 125.9. And who's that off? That's T-Mac.
T-Mac's in the mud.
I don't know if he had warm tyres from the previous moment he had. I'm not too sure. Either way, he's back on track and still lapping in 12th place. One of those that started on the hards originally. A couple of other drivers, Ando, Pepsi and Bait inclusive.
Yeah, Bait having a pretty good race so far considering what happened to him in the sprint race.
Yeah, when he pits, he'll be not in a bad spot. He'll be down in about 11th, 12th, you'd say.
Yeah.
And he'd be on fresh mediums, and he'll have a good pace advantage to those around him. So the gaps are pretty strewn out in the midfield, but he'll be able to make quick work of that, and it'll be interesting to see if he gets more spots later in the race.
Should be a possibility. Sneaky at the moment, looking pretty close to overtaking Ali as he dives up the inside of turn 9. I believe he's going to get that move done relatively easily. Yes, he does. As Potsy also overtakes T-Mac, those fresh softs working well for Potsy.
Ali having a wee spin.
Ali having another spin.
T-Mac actually ran off track. Oh, and he nearly had another moment, second last corner too. So he might be feeling the wear on those hards, and he's almost lost it again. Kebab also making a move on Pepsi there.
Yep, I was on board for that one. Very well timed by Kebab there. Now, Pepsi responded and but Kebab will continue this overtaking streak, taking Endocat into sector 2. Good move. As Endocat drops another position, loses out to Pepsi as well. You won't be very happy with that.
Oh, sorry, just watching. Fever just posted the clip of what happened to him at his onboard. I just saw it posted onto Discord, and he had a bit of oversteer going into the second last turn and overcorrected, and then ended straight into the wall and retired instantly. So that's how that happened.
That's unfortunate.
So Ali's just come in for mediums. This is the first person we've seen do this, but he's running those mediums a bit longer than he'd like to.
Yeah, probably a lap or two longer than what he would like, but I imagine he had damage to something, so probably all he could really do.
Yeah, we'd probably see it more 17, 18, 19 people coming in for the mediums.
Yeah.
That is Bait, Pepsi, Ando, Sneaky, and T-Mac. And
Still,
potentially Potsy.
He still managed to do that at a pretty good point because he's not lapped yet, as Pepsi does what Pepsi does.
Pepsi has a moment.
Turn 3, he will recover the car though. I don't think there's any damage as he rejoins the track.
Doesn't appear to be, no.
So what, now Ali's in a bit of a predicament here. I'd say another car around? Is that...
T-Mac.
Okay. Ali hasn't been lapped yet, but he would really be aching for a safety car right now to try and catch up before he gets shown blue flags, because he's probably a second or two off getting blue flags.
Yeah, we haven't seen the safety car yet. T-Mac having another moment there. Jackson's really close on the Pepsi. This is for 9th place, and under DRS he'll get it done really easily there.
Looks like it.
9th spot. Now, coming into lap 17, Big Al's getting really close to Bait here. Bait's on those old hards. He's going to be really slow now. So how much does Bait hold up the front runners? Because he's not effectively first.
I think as much as he wants. He can do whatever he wants at this point. So if he wants to hold him up, he can. He should just try and make sure that he doesn't lose too much time doing it, though. Otherwise it's going to be bad for him. I think we have Fotsy around again.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, he'd like to not be in the way of all this battling, but at the same time, he can't afford to lose time. He can't afford to let people just go through at the cost of his own pace.
Yeah, T-Mac round again.
Yeah, so it's really showing who's put in a lot of practice and who hasn't, I think.
It is a very
And Potsy's out.
That's what I'm used to. Okay, I was kind of expecting that to happen at some point with all the spins we saw.
Right-hand side of turn 4. And it's
BSC.
full safety car.
Full safety car. That has played directly into Bates' hands.
Wow. Can you believe it? He is currently second. He'll have to pit, but the thing is, I don't think these guys, unless they have a fresh set of mediums on hand, I don't think they'll come in.
No, the other guys won't, but that's worked out phenomenally for Bate because he's going to pit. Everyone else behind him will pit as well. He should end up somewhere in the top 10, though.
Well, let's keep an eye on it. Bates coming to the pits now. Now, he's not the only one that'll benefit. Ando will be a bit closer to everyone because of that. Pepsi just pitted. He'll be able to get close to other drivers as well.
This helps Ali too. Ali will be able to catch up now. He can get lapped. Alright, Bate
He's
has it.
right in front of Big Al, yes. Is he letting him through?
Good
Oh, no,
stuff.
he isn't. So where does Bate pop up? Looks like it's going to be 7th place.
Wow.
Oh,
Bate.
guess what compound Ando's on?
Bate getting so lucky there with the strategy. Oh, surely he didn't do that on purpose. That must be all he had left. I don't know. It's a bad call, Ando. Those tires aren't gonna
Ando
last.
started hard, didn't he? He did.
Oh, what are you doing?
Now, to be fair, safety car will be up for a couple of laps. The field is really strewn out, and it's not going to go until everyone's bunched up again. So it might not go to lap 20. He'll get about 8 or 9 laps of soft tyre running.
Big Air
That's
retired!
still probably going to be too
Oh,
long.
I left. Sorry, he left. He just left. I thought I retired for a second. Sorry, my apologies. So obviously,
Oh my God.
DC'd. He should join back. Hopefully his AI doesn't do anything stupid like pitting right now. T-Mac picks up a penalty under safety car?
Oh, that was coming into the pits. That's been noted as a little bit of a bug. Some people have just found themselves getting warnings for coming into the pits.
Might not be a bug. He might have actually crossed the white line.
Ah, right, okay.
In which case, that's definitely not getting removed if he crossed the white line.
Okay. Well, okay, so this is interesting in how the hard runners are staying out. The thing is, these medium runners on the medium tyres, they're going to have a pace benefit because the hard tyres are supposed to be more worn, they're supposed to be slower. But the problem is, these hard tyre runners are not going to wear as much now we're on the safety car.
All I can see is... okay, so Mikau's going to come in the pits and he'll probably put on... Does he have a spare set of mediums?
He started mediums, so he must be on softs. Must have waited a lap to do it, maybe. Oh, no, he's got old mediums. I don't think he knew they were 7 laps old, did he?
I don't know if that's a good call. Yeah,
Because the mediums that you have to switch onto were the ones used in the sprint.
Yep.
That's why people aren't switching onto mediums when they started on them.
yeah, I don't know if that's a good call. He's going to have to take those mediums pretty long.
He probably almost has to pull them off. I don't think he's going to make it last.
He can make them last, but they're going to hurt. I would have stayed out. I don't think that was the right call. I would have stayed out.
I guess he would have been conserving them in the sprint race. They won't be as worn.
Yeah, but still, I don't think that was the best call we could have made. But back to
So-
what I was saying is Bates put himself in a really good position here. So he is up into the 7th. He was way at the back of the grid, so he's made up a lot of positions.
Yeah.
Actually, let's have a look how many positions gained. So Bate up 2 from where he started, but he did have that incident at the start, dropping back quite a bit. Ando up 11 positions actually, so Ando really flew up this grid.
Yeah, some good performances here.
Is on the soft, so I want to see what happens on this restart. So these guys on the hards are going to be really slow compared to Bate and Ando. But those two, I think, are going to be chopping through this grid pretty rapidly.
Yes, so if Kunai was here, he'd have tyre temps on everyone, would know what temps those hards are at, because the problem is with those tyres is keeping them warm. This is Abu Dhabi. It's going to be warm. It's very easy to keep tire temp, but still, hard tires are like insane. You can't keep temperature in them. So it's going to be whether the hards are going to degrade enough to actually make much of a difference compared to the mediums, because the mediums are going to have a little bit of wear now as well, although not much. But the pace differential is not going to be as big as it was without that safety car, especially towards the back end of the race. So, but Bait also doesn't have a gap to work with. He can just start working on overtaking these guys in front. So it'd be interesting to see what his pace is like on the restart and if he can capitalize.
Macau just pit again for softs. He obviously didn't mean to do what happened last lap, so on soft tyres, that's going to put him out of the points, but he could still end up with the points here, depending on how rapid he is. He's only lost a couple of positions, so he's down in P13, so he could still be off the points. Now, one thing that I will note though is recently we've had a bit of a calamity between the AlphaTauris and Trent, and on the safety car restart, Bait will start right behind Trent.
Oh my god, that's massive. Well, hopefully they all keep it civil.
They won't.
Come on, positive reinforcement or whatever it is. Looking elsewhere, Vlad's still in third place. He's on for a really good result. Crushes in fourth. Ekim's in second. It's been a pretty strong race from him so far. Pepsi in the points, good to see as well. So, some really good performances here today, and still some people you can't write off.
Yeah, we could still see quite a bit happen here. Even like FIBA, who very rarely makes a mistake, you saw clearly under not a lot of pressure made that big mistake. Pushed himself out of the race, so this is definitely still anyone's race. This track is very tricky, very slippery.
Ooh, a bit of a check-up here in the grid. Looks like they've sorted it out.
Yeah, so Ali's gonna have fantastic tyres.
I think Big Al's just holding up a little bit more.
Yeah, he's doing what he can to try and make sure everyone behind him has colder tyres than he does, which is his absolute right to do.
So everyone's on totally different strategies here. This is going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out as Big Al goes, and we are back underway here, like 20 of 29 coming to 21 of 29 here at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of guys got caught napping there. A bit of a disparity between the grid there. Trent is right up the back of Kebab, as they sort of got put out a little bit. Pepsi as well, right on the back of Andocat. Ali already making up one position on T-Mac. T-Mac couldn't quite get the traction down as well as what he would like. A couple of positions being swapped over. Trent and Bait really close together as I predicted. Let's see what these guys do going into the second sector.
They're all lined up. It's so tight right now.
It's a hell of a grid. Bait is going to get past Trent.
Ekim's pulled out as well. That's the lead of the race there for Ekim.
Oh, Trent making contact. These guys not leaving each other much room to work with. Trent trying to go up behind the back of Kebab. He would have had to get up the throttle there. So is Bait going to get past? It looks like he's going to get past. They're going to go too wide. Turn 9.
There's no room there. He takes the racing one. Bit of a bump there.
Yeah, a bit of a bump. It looks like even Ando got caught out as Pepsi gets up next to him.
Bait's still alongside here. Mikhail having a spin. Mikhail's down now as well. 16th place.
Oh no, Ando getting caught out there, just had nowhere to go, drops back as well, so Jackson up to 9.
After one lap, Bait has not made any progress.
No, we thought those mediums would have done a little bit better, but not quite. Pepsi though on the same level of medium to get past two drivers, so he's doing really well so far. He's going to keep it up, he's on for a really good result.
Got a mountain to climb ahead of him though, and it's all white walls pretty much, all hard tyres here. And Bait as well, 7 for 8 those guys. Good points for them, but still, there's a lot more on offer.
On board with London at the moment, as he's looking to get a good exit, hopefully make a position food. Don't quite know if he's going to get it done though. He is looking faster than fine. A little comfortable car.
They filter through the chicane here. All pretty civil, despite what happened last lap.
still a long race to go. They've still got 7 or 8 laps to pound around the circuit, so they have time. And I dare say though the soft runners would be wanting to push through as fast as they can because their tyres are not going to last, so they want to make up positions while they have performance.
Yeah, Sneaky was got really close to Ando there, but had to back out of it. But they hovering around the 5/10 margin. T-Mac having, I believe, another spin.
DRS enabled.
Little wee mini sprint here.
Yeah. Another sprint race, yes.
But Mick, I pick up some damage. He might have hit T-Mac in that spin. I'm wondering.
I don't know. Yeah, Mika's damage could be from when he had it before though. I think T-Mac's one on his own.
That's a fresh set of softs actually. I think he's going for a fastest lap.
He's going for a fastest lap at this point. This
I
race
think
is a bit
Jack
of a
Humphreys Jack Humphreys said it earlier on, I think. The fastest lap. But Mikhail should crush that.
I imagine he would. No fuel, some tyres.
So, lap 23 or 29, not as much movement as we thought. These soft runners seem to be on par with the mediums, as we have Bait and Trin side by side now to the left-hander. Bait's on the outside, Trin's on the left side. I think Bait does get the move done though, finally. It's 6th place run.
Yeah, finally those medium tyres are shining the hards. Now Trin has to be careful to not lose any more positions to get Pepsi behind it. It's just as hungry to go up again in other positions to win this race. And he kind of has to get a move on because those medium guys are going to run out of options very soon, so they're going to try and probably make some unsafe dives.
Yeah, the medium runners don't have to worry about tyre wear anymore. Around 10 laps is when they start to feel the pinch in those tyres, and they're just not going to now because they spent a few laps under safety car, so they had no wear virtually during their time. The soft runners, they're going to be feeling it in the last few laps. I think they're a non-issue, and they're not really holding a candle to these medium runners.
Medium's a bit of a beyond at the moment. Sneaky tries a very opportunistic centre instead of undercut. That move was never on.
All the meanwhile, Miguel is within a couple of attempts to egg him here. Closer than all the others, although he just did a bad chicane. Sneaky and Ando side by side through the chicane, as I say that.
Yeah, perhaps made a bit of a dive too, just couldn't quite pull the car up in time, so well done for the guy doing for awareness. As Pepsi is going to try and go around the outside of Trin, it's going to be a battle to see who can get the better traction. Looks like Trin might keep it. One of them has to concede who they're going to be, and it's going to have to be Trin. Unfortunately, those hard tyres are wearing down. You can see the results of it as the medium runners have started overtaking them. Trin's got to be cautious now because these soft guys are going to try and do the same thing.
They have to do it within a lap or two, pretty much. While that was happening, Sneaky also had a wee moment, has dropped down to 14th. He was just behind Andocat in the 11th spot, but now he's dropped down a few more. So any chance of points for Sneaky looks like it's gone now.
There's not a few cylinders this race, so that's unfortunate. That's what it is. Ali getting picked off like a condom. Say, oh, Ali lost it!
And Ali
I was on board
spins.
with that. Oh!
Sneaky just misses him. Oh
Well,
my god.
well done by Sneaky to dodge that. That was close.
Well, I was going to say Ali on the softs might have been a bit of a gamble as Mikhail sets the fastest lap because Ali hasn't really shown the consistency of the other drivers today, but he was making it work until then, and now he's definitely going to finish 14th.
Looks like it, yeah. And Jackson, I believe, has got a pretty decent exit. I don't think it's good enough, actually. I might be wrong. It looks like his tyre advantage is going to come in clutch here, and he will overtake Trin in turn 9. That's been the bane of Trin's existence this race. Just on those hard tyres, he just can't get the grip to get a good exit out of there, as Jackson has a bit of a moment, but still the performance gap is just too big.
Yeah, Trin free falling a little bit. It's 1.2 seconds to the next car though, so maybe he can gather it up.
Yeah, from 6th place all the way down to 9th for the laps, just not being able to make those hard tyres work as efficiently as the mediums or the softs.
Now, currently, everyone's holding station up front, but the interesting thing is, the further down you go, the more you see ERS being used by the drivers, trying to stay on top of each other. Ekam's got around 80%, but as you go down, they've got less and less and less. Kebab literally on no ERS, trying to stay in touch with the people up in front. Ekam looks like he's got this in the bag as long as he keeps it clean.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good so far for Ekam.
Here comes Bait on Kebab. On the outside, coming into the chicane, that turns into the inside. This is a good place to make the move. Kebab gets a bit of oversteer and does hit Bait, but Bait does retain the spot.
I don't know what Kebab was thinking, then they kind of lose position to Pepsi as well because of that bit of a silly move. Big Al getting pretty close to the back of Ekam, nearly goes for an overtake, couldn't quite get it done though. I will say though that Ekam's looking a little bit better battery-wise. As we do have another battle, so Kebab tries to stick it around the outside of Pepsi, can't quite get it done, so he'll have to slot it behind him in 373.
Yeah, that was Pepsi making the move, so Pepsi actually goes up to 6th now. So following Bait pretty well, and these guys have made a couple of spots. The strategy really paying off, and that lucky safety car really paying dividends.
Absolutely, safety car came out at just the right time for these guys, so Bait and Pepsi making the absolute most of it. At the moment, Pepsi having a phenomenal race considering how he's been going recently.
Now, yes, Pepsi, very good race for him, especially considering I think he had a couple of moments as well. Now, Bait, almost at a VRS now. I don't think he's got much more, but then again, Crush is almost at a VRS himself, just trying to stay in touch with Vlad up ahead. Again, the further down they go, the less ERS people seem to have. So, will Bait be able to get 4th here, or will he just have to hold station? Does he have Pepsi to even worry about? As Crush goes wide, he has to cut the chicane. Does he get slapped with a penalty like Fever did? Yes, he does!
Yeah, that cost Crush quite a bit there. He did slow down, but I don't believe he slowed down enough in the game for it. Not giving him a penalty for that. I do think that's fair. He made a pretty big mistake, and he hasn't lost any positions because of it. I think he lost mine, so I believe that's a fair penalty.
I could spend many minutes discussing that, but right now we have a race on our hands. I love to argue about penalties, but
we will never see eye to eye on that.
We will never.
No, Mandarin Wide got penalised. Deal with it.
2 laps to go here. Tier 1 feature race here at Marina. Big Al is just under 4 tenths behind Ekam, and they're on roughly almost the same amount of battery, but that's going to be used very quickly here, and Ekam does have a slight advantage. Vlad behind, still in a pretty good spot, still in 3rd, pretty comfortably as well, with Crush having that penalty, and Bait not having too much more in the tank. He's got 4th locked in.
Looks like it. Get close to the final lap here. Ekam is at a phenomenal ride. When's the last time Ekam won a race?
I will go and check that very quickly.
That would be really good to know. Jackson, it looks like those soft tyres have actually died now, and the hard's up a little bit better. Pretty good hard Jackson.
A couple of good point scores, Bahrain and Australia, but I don't know if those are wins. It doesn't say so. Either way, this is a very good result for him. This will be 25 points if he does get it. Mercedes do need the points with Alpine not scoring anything tonight.
Yeah.
Well, apart from the sprint race, I should say so.
Very happy with that. Big Al nearly pushing Ekam around. Quite get the move done. Bit of a silly move by him. He should have really held back. He was in a better position. But I believe we're going to sneaky on the outside of Ando in sector 3. Those soft tyres have died. We've got nothing left in the tank.
So sneaky. I thought he was out of it when he had his moment. But no, he's suddenly in a spot where if he gets these next 2 cars in this last lap of the race, he might actually get a point.
Yeah, and those cars are dead. Those tyres are completely gone now as he goes for a massive send up inside of turn 1. He's gonna pull it off though, leaves just enough room for Ando on the outside, gets the move done beautifully.
Attack, and he has to keep attacking.
Yep. Is he going to combine turn 1, send one up the inside? Sneaky with an absolutely beautiful switchback. What a move by Sneaky if he can get the power down. to maintain that position. I don't think he can quite get it down. Trying to stop. Fair to straight line, I think, and with that ERS, he's going to stay ahead. But Sneaky in a good position to try and get a better exit here.
Very close to the rear wing there of Combined.
I think Sneaky is... Yeah, I couldn't quite get it done. As one of the
Here we go.
Jackson doesn't get the spin at the back there. Around the outside, can Sneaky get it done? It looks like he'll have the traction. Yep, absolutely. Beautiful move by Sneaky. Phenomenal comeback, to be honest.
Indeed. Now, second last corner for Rickham.
Yeah, on board with Beckham at the moment. As he comes around the second last corner, comes around the last corner to take race victory here at Yas Marina. Fantastic race. He'd be so happy with that. Awesome job, Beckham. Well done. Very well
Vlad. Podium, debut tier 1. Insane result there for him. Bait 4th, Pepsi 5th. Lucky safety car helping them a lot. Crush will get 6th after that penalty. Kebab 7th. Trin in 8th. Sneaky will take 9th place. Combined will round out the points.
That was a bit of a disgusting show at the end then with Combined and Jackson.
That was massive.
I don't know what happened then, but that was pretty average.
Wow. Combined got 10th by 100th of a second.
Yeah, him and Ando were pretty much locked in, wheels to wheel.
Wow.
And
That's
then
incredible.
I don't know what happened. Jackson got his wheel in there as well. It was just
Mikhail
messy.
rolls.
Mikhail rolls across the line, saving fuel, trying to save AlphaTauri a little bit of money after all the front wings were replaced this weekend.
Ali stops on track and Pond and just runs into the back of him. Then he does get the position on Ali, funnily enough, from that. Oh, that's funny.
Boy. What a race.
They had it all. There was a lot of tyre management and all that. And T-Mac! Oh,
Yeah. Awesome.
that's the story of T-Mac's race, sadly.
Awesome job there by Bait and Pepsi. Absolutely making full advantage of the safety car when it came out. Really lucky, and then also just having the right tyre at the right time. Unfortunate for Trin, lost out quite a bit there due to the tyre problem. Just bad luck, really.
Yeah, some pretty sad stories in this whole shenanigans. Fever losing it into the second last turn, Jack Humphreys de-skewing in the quali, and then having to recover it in the sprint, all to just get retired. Sucks. But a great race for Rickham. He'll take the win. Vlad gets his debut podium, and an insane race there from Tier 1. Some good racing there between everyone, actually.
Yeah, they kept it lively, that's for sure.
They're the one safety car, too.
How much you want to bet this is going to be a gritty? Of course.
Actually, skip quiet. Please be a gritty.
It's a gritty.
Yay!
It's never not. That's the scar. I'm not even going to look, I'm just going to skip past it.
Oh, come on.
So, Eckham actually getting the most points there with the good result in the sprint race as well, running out 31 points for the weekend. That's massive for the Mercedes driver.
Yes, Trend and Vlad as well. Bait with 12 points. But Eckham does take the feature race win, followed by Big Al. Vlad and third, Bait 4th, Pepsi 5th, Crush 6th after the penalty, Kebab 7th, Trend in 8th, Sneaky in 9th, and Combined picking up that last point spot. Looking further back, we've got Ando in 11th, Mikhail with the fastest lap in 12th spot, Pond in 13th, Valley 14th, T-Mac 15th, and Jackson crashing up but also being classified as 16th. Not making it for Potsy, Fever, and Jack Humphreys, sadly.
Yeah, good race overall though. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with us for Tier 1. So the stream is going to briefly end before starting up again. We've got the Tier